Hey people, hey, what is up? What is up? What is up? What up? All that good shit. What is up? Hey. Make sure, listen, go ahead, pour yourselves a drink, get yourself situated. We about to have a good time. We about to party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit. Listen. We're about to have a great night. It is Pride Month. Y'all know every year I do my Epic Pride Month video. And this year, instead of doing my regular video, I decided to do a panel. I decided to bring some people on with me. And we're going to have a good time. Y'all going to get to meet them, interact with them. They're going to talk to you. And you're going to be able to, chat and all of that good stuff. And we're going to celebrate equality. We'll celebrate love. We'll celebrate all the things that is to be in the Rainbow Coalition. Anyway, enough of me. I'm going to bring each one of them up. And each one of these gentlemen, when I bring them up, they're going to tell you who they are, how you find them. They're going to say they're very happy to be here, happy to see you guys, and all of that good stuff. Y'all make them feel good. Put some shondos in the chat. Make them feel good about being here. Let them know we have a good time over here. Let them feel relaxed. Y'all can flirt a little bit with them if y'all want. I know some of the, these some sexy men's is here. And so if you want to, but you can't do too much because I'm gonna save that for me and the after party. You know what I'm saying? After the live is over and we go to the after party, it's just gonna be us. Yeah. Anyway, enough of me. Let me start bringing some people on. I'm gonna start. with a regular over here, somebody who y'all know him. So I'm gonna ease y'all into the new people. So I'm gonna start off with a regular person, somebody who y'all are very comfortable with. He has on a great shirt, an appropriate shirt for today. Let me bring him on, my boy. Here he is. Talk to the people, tell them who you are, and there he goes, covering himself. Don't cover up now.
Why did you bring me on?
Take what your mama gave you. I'm sure you got
Hey.
on your hoochie daddy shorts and all.
Huh?
I say I'm sure you got on your hoochie daddy
I
shorts
have
and
on.
all.
Well, they are, but they're my gym shorts, really.
You
They're really my gym shorts. Hey, you
call them gym
bitch!
shorts.
What's up? How you doing? How's everybody doing? Whew. Today was a cool day. As you guys know, it's me, D, or D Entertains, as it right here. Ooh, that looks pretty dope. As you guys know, it's me, D, or D Entertains, or DDD, or my actual name, Devon. And you guys could find me on here on my YouTube channel. It's me, D. I started back doing reviews again, but I don't want to be put in a hey, please. I don't want to be put in a box, even though I am in a box right now.
Yeah, you are. You are in the box. All right, you're definitely in the box. All right, next up, me and this gentleman, we do panels every week on the Real House Skanks, Housewives of Atlanta. And you can find him over here on the even episodes. We're
Hey,
here on the odd
Janae.
episodes. We're over on
Hey,
his
really, BB.
channel. And so say hello to my boy Darren.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Hey, Darren, my
Hey,
friend.
it's been a minute. Hey D,
Hey.
I'm over here chilling. It's your boy Darren Green. Darren Green Show podcast. I'm on here on YouTube. Like El Teddy said, we do a panel discussion on the House Wives of Atlanta. Yeah,
Enter.
Where we get to drag Marlo with reckless abandon.
not reckless abandonment, but yeah. Hey Tracy,
Hey,
um,
oh, hey, Tracy.
you know, your people know me, El Teddy. Your people know me.
Yeah, they know you. Okay. So
Yeah.
let me start to get some more people. Let me bring up my husband in my head, my YouTube husband, the one who might make me move up to the cold up north. He appropriately has on red today,
Hmm.
just for, all the reasons that we know about. Let me bring up I'm gonna act nice while my husband is here. Cam's, hey,
Hey everybody.
that's my husband in my head, y'all.
Hey, Cams.
Hey, it's me.
Hey.
How you doing?
That's my old man.
Now you know good and well.
That's all you want to say to the people, Cam?
I'm up from the bushes tonight. Hello everyone. So
Up
glad to
from
be
the bushes tonight.
here. Yeah.
All right. So let me bring some people who you all may not be familiar with. Let me bring this gentleman. I'm glad that he has on clothing today. He's so and both of y'all. This applies to both of them because both of them are very comfortable out of clothing. You can catch both of them on their social media. They're not porn skanks, so don't worry. But you
Respect
can.
sex workers.
Well, I'm sorry, they're not sex
Or
workers. Um, but they both love their bodies. They love showing their bodies. I'm going to start with this young man over in the great state governed by Governor Hot Wheels in the great state of Texas.
the great
Hold
state.
on,
Oh, let me
hold
stop.
on. Let me get him to come up. We got Coach here. Coach, say hello to the people.
Oh, you mean?
Hey, what's up, everybody? And I'm more so about empowering people to be comfortable with their body versus just loving on my body. But love it. What's up, everybody?
I know that's right.
I know that's right, and we love all parts of your body, beard and all, beard and all. Thank you for being here with me here, sir. We're gonna have some fun tonight. And this last gentleman, I asked him to come because he be asking me to come to all kinds of stuff all the time. And so finally I get to tell him, no, you come and be on mine. And I'm gonna let him introduce himself to you. Here he is.
What's up? How y'all doing tonight?
What
Can
is
you hear
up?
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
How you all doing tonight?
We are good. We are good. I feel so out of place. Like everybody has like beards and stuff, and I'm the only one with a bare naked face. That's fine. That's fine. Everybody got all kinds of hairs and stuff on it. And so, listen, y'all. I'm glad y'all are here. Happy Pride Month, everybody. I'm glad you all are here. You know,
Woo.
we're celebrating us, celebrating being proud and loud. And I mean, we're proud and loud every day, every month of the year. But certainly, this month we want to celebrate who we are and tell people, you know, we're here, we're queer, get used to it, and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that you all agreed. We got some topics to discuss here. I want y'all in the chat to be very vocal. You can ask questions. We are going to answer those questions as best as we can. Y'all know it's wide open on this channel, so we can cuss, we can do everything except for show body parts. We can't quite do that yet. I'm still working with YouTube on that, so maybe in the near future we may be able to do that, like a YouTube After Dark or a paid subscription to YouTube, so we can, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. We'll work that out. Anyway, let me not belabor the issue. We have some topics. These gentlemen have been made aware of said topics, and they are hopefully ready to talk about all of those topics. So, let me see what my first topic was. All right. So, we're going to dive right in. We're going to go straight to the deep end. They say this is a good looking panel plus me. Wow. Really, Tracy? That's what we're doing. Janae says the beards are everything. I would say thank you, but I don't have a beard. So I'll let the bearded men say thank you and all of that good stuff. All right. Our first topic is being black LGBTQ versus being white LGBT. We diving right in the deep end. Let me give you something to snack on. If you need a snack, this might be the time. We may have a sugar spike or two here or there. So you know this is the time to do that. Gentlemen, what does it mean? All of us are in the Rainbow Coalition. All of us have dealt with what it means to be LGBTQ. And so what does it mean? What is the difference between black LGBTQ plus and white LGBTQ plus? What is the difference? Like,
What
yeah, anybody jump in.
I would say privilege. I mean, you know, a lot of people in the white LGBTQ community have privilege, and you know, they like to think that they're like a minority because of their, you know, because of their queerness. But
Sexual orientation.
yeah,
This is definitely true. Um, and even not even when it comes down to us, we're always sexualized.
mm,
Even though at the to me, I think we're at the bottom of the totem pole where it's whites, then it's us, and
mm-hmm.
they're
Mhm.
not looking to date us. They're not really looking to marry us. They're more looking to anger
I
their
wouldn't go that
parents.
far because we've seen
Okay, I went
that
too deep.
when the black gays get a little bit of money, the first thing they want to do is grab. They do like the straight black men, and they want to grab them the first white thing they find, as horrible looking as they may be.
Hmm.
I mean, see Billy Porter, see Don Lemon, see Sean T, and
RuPaul,
all of the
Ru,
who
RuPaul,
RuPaul.
RuPaul, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Matter of fact, if you remember RuPaul when she got that Emmy, and her whole production team was there, and a reporter asked her, "Why isn't there any diversity in your, you know, production?" And RuPaul's answer was, "I am the diversity."
Mm,
As if that's all you need.
Yeah,
There were like 50
that's what
people up
she
there.
said.
There were like 50 people up there, and she was the only person that wasn't white. And her answer was, "I am the diversity," and that's all we need.
yeah, some people want to be the token. They want to be the token black person or the token gay in the group or a situation or whatever. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I saw on Sunday. token black person in a
Oh, okay.
whiteness.
Todrick Hall. Somebody said Todrick Hall in the chat.
Time to call it
I low-key got a story about Todrick Hall, but I'm gonna say it later.
You have a story? Gentlemen, y'all feel free to chime in when you want to, Coach and Greg and Cam.
So I'll chime in. I love what Darren said about privilege, because a lot of times, in my experience growing up in the South, white people have the privilege to come out versus coming out for us just really wasn't an option or wasn't a safe space to do so. I'll also add that in terms of like representation, it's really hard to like not appreciate or to not see or have a certain amount of respect for the token black person, because there's so much shame in our community to where you don't always see black guys being like their full authentic self all the time. It's always like smoke and mirrors sometimes, even like on social media. So I definitely will double tap on the privilege part.
It's interesting that I just thought about it as you said it about how, white gay people are celebrated when they come out. It's a big thing. Whoa, we're here, we're queer, get used to it. And on our side, it's not celebrated as much.
Thank you. Let's back to that closet.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I got that son over there that's gay, or you're the gay cousin or the gay nephew, or as if you have a third arm or something like that that's hanging off of your body. And yeah, don't worry about him. That's just his disability over there. He's the gay one. That's his disability. Don't bless his heart. He's all right over there.
But I think in that notion, I think the onus should be on black people in general, like the black community. They needs to be more open and more understanding and have compassion for people that are in the LGBT community. And I think that every year, every June, we see people say whatever. I mean, we're going to get into it, but still the same rhetoric. And it's 2022.
Mind you, when it was time to be on the front lines fighting and getting arrested and getting beat down by police, they didn't mind us being in the forefront then. But now that there's a lot more freedom, at least temporarily, until Clarence Thomas and his band of merry men get through. We'll get there later. Uh, but right now, when it's a lot more free, they don't mind carrying the banner now. But back in the day, it was the black and Hispanic members of the community that were the ones that were fighting and things like that. So I don't know. Cam, I feel like you have something. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Coach.
No, are you talking about black men on the front line? You're talking about black trans women, because I definitely don't want to get
black trans women, black and Latino trans women. They were on the front line. Let's be clear. Trans women have carried the banner of the whole community from the very beginning. They were the original gangsters. They are the OGs for real, for real.
I guess I'll say something. I think that is an interesting juxtaposition, like being black versus being white in the community, because we're inundated with Eurocentric beauty standards. And like a couple of people said earlier, we're only desired as part of like a sexual conquest. And it just ties back to slavery, as if we're this sexual breeding stock and people just want the experience of us. But it's like you value our bodies, but you don't value our person. And you can see that because, I mean, you might be white and gay, but you can walk the streets being white. There's a certain privilege that comes with that. And even when you're in the same spaces as them, like total disconnect about the realities that we live. Like I'm black and gay. It's double hard, but it's like, yeah, you're gay, but you're white. Like you're fine. You'll be okay.
I also find that the white gays, like their other heterosexual counterparts, are looking for a reason to feel like they're the victim or disenfranchised. So they love, like, if they're white and gay, oh, listen, they are wearing that like a banner. They love to feel like, yeah, oh, woe is me. I'm this, da 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 da. They want to be the poster child for everything that is horrible about homophobia in America, not knowing that there's still privilege that they were able to step into spaces being white gays that it took us so long before we could even try to get in that space.
I definitely agree with that. It's like you want to be a minority. It's like the it thing to be a minority.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Even sometimes, even like in these shows that are supposed to be inclusive, the white characters still act privileged, even if they're gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Anybody here dated a white guy?
No.
Mm-mm.
Define date.
Date.
Not a casual fling, not a what, meaning y'all went out, y'all were trying to see what was what. Maybe it lasted a date or two. Maybe you realized, yeah, y'all smell funny, and I don't really want to deal
Right.
with that on a daily
Ah,
basis.
no.
I can't say that's what I
No.
track.
Say that again.
That's not what I track.
Um,
Mm-mm. No white men.
Oh, well, all right.
I'm not season of faith.
No.
Greg,
The
you
white men
being
that
silent over there. Talk to us.
I think they kind of said it, but I can definitely get my input on it. I think it's more about a lot the fact that we're black men. I think they still see us more as like a fantasy, a fetish,
Mm.
sexualized. I think when it come down to an institution like marriage or building like stuff like that in terms of community, we still not considered part of that. I think versus like with white people, um, well, with white people, I think they still have the opportunity, and that's why a lot of them still procreate. Or like, I'm give you a perfect example, like Andy Cohen. He's homosexual, whatever you want to call it. But you see, he still had sense enough to still procreate to keep his legacy going. So he understands the institution of family, that is not about being, are you attracted to the a male or female. It's more about keeping that bloodline and keeping that legacy going. So I think for black people, we still caught up in that fantasy or that fetish of what it means to be gay, what it means to look like, what it means to be fabulous, rather than understanding the institution of those things, of whether you gay or straight, you still need to have legacy and things like that when it comes down to building. So I think that's like the major thing. We still caught up in more of the fantasy of it, to be fabulous, to be this, to well this and that, versus still understanding the foundation of America, of institutions, of government, and different things like that. And the first thing of that is family, it's procreation.
Yeah.
You can't do that without doing it. So I think that's
Now
the big
that's an
difference.
interesting pivot right there. So, are you of the notion that there's the need to procreate and have that family to carry on legacy? Because in my estimate, if somebody's asked me this about having kids and my legacy, my answer and retort to them is this: think about some of the most famous or infamous people you've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
You always know who they are. Very seldom do you know who their kids are. Like their kids become an afterthought. Their kids may be around. You may can, but they're not. They're never. They don't quote unquote carry the legacy of that person. So I've always been of the notion that your legacy is tied to who you are, how you live, and everything you did. I'm going to pause for the cause because we got another panelist that just came on. I don't know if you're ready in the background. If you're ready, your camera's not on. I can't see if you're ready to put a thumbs up. Let me know if you're ready, and you can put a thumbs up or if you're ready.
Oh, we got another person. Oh, I didn't know we can add that many people.
Oh yeah, we can have up to 10 people. Listen, I'm premium here.
Oh,
Listen, we are
yes, premium. Look, I got the.
listen, we are premium here.
God, I got the
Oh,
basic
God.
plan, honey.
Oh man. I'm gonna bring him up anyway. Hopefully he's ready. Um, are you ready, sir?
El Teddy,
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey.
Okay.
Good, good,
Peace
good.
out,
This is
Cameron. You
Linda.
want to tell the people who you are before we continue talking? Tell the people who you are and how to find you.
I am Lando King. I'm a movie producer here in Atlanta, Georgia.
How do we find you, sir?
You can find me on my Instagram, on my YouTube, and also on my website. My website is landkingfilms .com, and then my Instagram is Landking Film Official. Everything is spelled like how it sounds. Lando King Official.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Glad you had came here. But we were just talking about black versus white being gay,
Mhm.
and we drifted off into legacies and family. Anybody have anything to add to that?
Well, I want to say something after you said. So everything you was talking about based up on people in the spotlight. I wasn't speaking in reference to that. When I say legacy, I mean more of like the stuff that really matter. I'm not talking about the people that we know or we see in the spotlight. That's not really about anything. I'm talking about more about the core of the foundation of family. Like if we look at how we got here, it has to be it was someone in our family, my grandmother, that procreated my a mother then father, so they understand that concept. So I don't mean the people that we just know. I'm talking about just the solid foundation of family when it comes down to procreation. It's not about a thing of a straight thing or a gay thing. It's just about an intelligent thing. Without procreation, we basically extinct. That's just common sense. So that's what I was speaking about. Not the just I'm not speaking in the terms of because we know them.
I got
I'm
you.
I'm not basing their importance, them being important based up on how many people know them. I'm talking about the core of family from the beginning of time.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Um, well, I'll let anybody chime in, but while they're chiming in, let me say this. Um, I think that procreation is, even if we were straight men, there's a chance that we still wouldn't be able to procreate. There are a lot of straight men that aren't able to procreate. They aren't able to have kids for whatever reason,
or will want to.
or may
Mm-mm.
not, right, or may not even want to. Um,
Yeah, that's true, but that's based up on things that we as human beings have put in place. But I'm talking about, I don't want to say use the term in the beginning of time, but I think we can't do a lot of things now based upon how we've been taking care of the human body in general, the earth, the world, the pollution, all of that. So I'm thinking like in the beginning of time, it was the assignment to procreate. That's
I
just how
think
life
whether or
live on
not
for
we want
forever.
to, as long as there's a penis and there's a vagina somewhere, there's going to be procreation. People are going to have coitus. People are going to have babies and do what they got to do.
Hmm.
At least for me, I don't know if anybody else
Right, I
wants to
got
chime
you.
in on that.
Well, and also, well, I guess it's early to go into, but I guess that's not always true. I think that's the same. That's the same reason we got the Roe v. Wade overturned, because if we look at the reality of it, if white people understand that they in fear of, like, they're not procreating like that
Wait,
anymore.
no, 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 hold that. We will hold that till we get down that road. We'll hold that till we go down that road. Let's hold on. Let's hold on to that until we go down that road. Let's reel it back in. Because we will definitely go down. Hold on, y'all. Oh, okay. Lando is driving. That's why. So his connection is bad. He's going in and I just sent him a message. So we'll hold on to that
Okay.
Okay.
um, until we get there because we definitely gonna go down that road. Let me reel it back in. Anybody else want to say anything else about the black versus white thing? Because I think it is a real thing, and they're always. If I, to me, I feel like when black people do get a little place and spotlight, they kind of neglect the black people who got them to where they are. Like a lot of them got to where they are because of black people. And what happens is, as soon as they get a little place, notoriety, spotlight, the first thing they want to do is say, "Oh, I don't need y'all no more. Let me go over here to the white people," and they want to don their own pseudo white privilege that they will never have. I got your message, Lando. I know you're driving and your signal is bad, so I understand.
L Ted, I have a question for you though.
Hmm.
Okay, so why do you think that, and how do we prevent, if black people, a lot of black men or black people doing it, how do we prevent them from not doing it
I'll
in
Okay,
toss that
terms of
back to
like
the
as a whole?
panel.
can I answer that question? Even though you didn't
Oh
Hmm.
yeah,
answer it.
most definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, one, I think it just starts with like yourself and holding yourself accountable. I'll be like fully transparent, even listening to you say that, and I might get some backlash from your supporters. But nonetheless, if black trans women started like speaking out and making pride a thing, why don't I see anyone that's black and trans represented here? Maybe I do, and I'm unaware, or maybe that's my ignorance. But I think it just starts with us just raising the bar for ourselves. But maybe is that something that's going to happen? Or do you plan to have like more diverse panels, L Teddy? I will throw that question to you.
Am I going to have more diverse panels? Sure. If you bring them, I will invite them. I have no problem.
Are you look, or are you diverse? Are you
Uh, I'm sorry, your mic is real soft. Go again.
I said, unless you're RuPaul, are you the diversity right now?
Not RuPaul.
I'm not diverse right now, but no, I'm not real diverse. But you want me to bring a white boy on here just so we can have a little diversity?
No,
White guy, an Asian
One.
guy,
Yeah, Grapevine child.
I
a
don't think we need. I
Latinx
don't think we need
guy,
diversity for real.
Middle Eastern guy. You know, but I have no problem with diversity,
Hmm.
and so forth. But I do think that there are topics and conversations that we were going to discuss that needs to be family
Yeah.
conversations. Some conversations are not for outsiders because
Hmm.
you need to get into some nitty gritty things, and you just don't want. They may say something that everybody looks at them like, "Wait, what?" And we don't want that. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know the answer. I don't know that we'll ever have the answer to that question, though, Greg, about how do we stop that from happening
Yeah.
because people have been so conditioned to a Eurocentric ideology of what is right and what is wrong.
Hmm.
And they have been so conditioned to thinking white is right or that the white person's strawberry is magically sweeter than the black person's strawberry, not knowing that that white person got the strawberry from
Right.
the black
The
person
white stole
who
it from the
grew it,
black.
Right, right.
picked it,
The black of
nurtured
the
it,
berry.
and
But let me
everything.
let me just ask this though. Like, so you mean in the sense of like how there's a lot of black gays that will go like would date or be with white men or something like that, or you mean it in the sense of like being in their spaces?
Mm.
Because sometimes when we talk about people, I know we can rag on RuPaul, we can rag on the people that's in the industry that's dating white men, but like when you look at the common black LGBT dude, like they are dating within their race. They are in spaces which are black. I knew a
Like
couple when
who?
I was in college that would date outside of their race, and if they would, it was Latina, which they're a person of color too. But it's I just haven't seen it, but like I just
Hmm.
don't see a lot of it that
I
we're.
feel like well, to me, I feel like when you get there, you're supposed to wedge the door
Hmm.
so that others can come behind you, and then there is a larger pool to pull from. So when I look at your production team, it's not 50 white people and
Yeah.
you're the only black person. So you know what I'm saying? And I have no problem if you want to date a white person,
Hmm.
you by all means, you could date them all for all I care, because that is not my cup of tea. I don't want no parts of it. I don't want anything to do with dating them.
Yeah.
However, at some point it seems self-loathing.
Hmm.
It seems really self-loathing, like you really don't like who you are in yourself when all you want to do is exclusively only
That yeah.
date white person. It's like, okay, I got rich, let me buy a Rolls Royce. I got rich, let me have a white person on my arm.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Mm.
But I believe it's also like a cultural thing too, because I realize like I live in New York. People that are mostly born here that are gay, black gays, they date inside their race. But a lot of people that I know that have migrated here, they mostly date white boys.
Mm.
Mm.
I think it's because they think a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a different experience, something I never had before." That's what it. That's what it.
It could be.
But I mean, that's something
they
that
may
black men
begin
in
to
general,
fetishize the white
black
people
men in
the way
general
the
have that
white people
issue too, even with
fetishize
the
us.
straight ones. Like we see a lot of them, they date a lot of white girls. Like
So many, and it's
it's a
mostly young
I
girls.
think it's a black man problem. I think there's something that we collectively
Mm.
have to work on.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
so you've
matter
been here
gay or straight.
before, what you're saying, you've
Hmm.
been here before. Oh, okay.
Mm.
That could be true.
But I also think is it due to we associate whiteness with power, privilege, success,
Mhm.
and so they seek
Mm-hmm.
that proximity to those things via whiteness. Could that also be it? Because
Yeah.
I've seen some
It
very
could be.
attractive black men, straight, gay, and they just be settling. But in my opinion, but
I said,
beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So they were ugly to me, not to them, perhaps.
Oh man, that's funny. All right. I think we'll move on.
mhm.
We just I want to get to the next topic. This is going to involve a lot of you, Darren,
Oh,
because
really?
you're
Oh, wow.
our only resident Gen Zer. Darren is a Generation Zer. He is our aficionado, or he is our representative. I'm sorry, you have to represent a whole generation of people, but you represent Generation Z right now, Darren. No pressure. No pressure.
Hmm.
So the question is, do you believe that okay, coach, you can't hear me yet. You might just go off and come back on. It may be me. Can everybody else hear me?
I can hear you, but
I can
Okay,
yeah.
hear you.
okay. Um so my question is, do you believe that Generation Z has it better, the gays, we're talking about specifically gays. Do you believe that they have it better than previous generations, meaning millennials or Generation X or even further, or do they have it worse?
Um. Okay. I mean, so do you think that you're asking if
Just
Gen Z
overall, just overall.
overall? No, I mean, I think we have it a lot easier. I mean, there was a lot of things, and the thing I like how you call me Gen Z. I always find myself on the cusp because I am 25. But when I was growing up in middle school, high school, like homophobia, getting jumped because you gay, and all that other stuff, like a lot of the stuff that was happening way back when, it kind of it stopped during my time in grade school, but it was still kind of there. Um, but in no way Gen Z, like it's we have it a lot easier. I think now we're dealing with people that are on social media making rants and raving about certain things because things change, or seeing gay people on TV or whatever the case is. That stuff, it's annoying, it's aggravating. It's not like I'm not losing my life over this. I'm not being hurt by this, physically. So I would say in that sense we do kind of have it a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Don't all speak at once. I would say this. I feel like just like Generation Z would like to think that they have it better, and I'm just going to switch to a whole different realm as racially in terms of how we are looked at in terms of black and white issues. They would like to believe that they have it better than their parents and or grandparents.
Hmm.
I would venture to argue that we're coming on a time right now where they're just as homophobic and just as racist as their grandparents and great grandparents. Like when people are going around saying, "Oh, the next generation is going to be so much better," and you look at some of these kids in
Hmm.
their 20s and or 30s, they are awful. They have some of the worst ways of thinking, where they have some of the worst ideologies. They are as homophobic as you could ever
Hmm.
believe and dream. So I feel like on the outside it appears like it is,
Okay.
but think about it. Post nightclub shooting was not someone that was elderly or not someone that was old.
Mm-hmm.
That guy was young. And when you see a lot of these things that happen, these people are, they're not old,
Hmm.
but they think way worse. And they're willing to act on their bigotry and hatred much more than some of their predecessors.
Are you saying that it's harder now? Like we have a lot of. I mean, I don't. Okay. I
I
just want
think
you
it
to.
I think it appears like it's easier,
Mm-hmm.
but when
Yeah.
you pull back the layers, it's and I think we'll find out in real short order that it's really not. That some of the same struggles and fights that we were having
Mm-hmm.
back in the day is still going on now, and there's even more reason to be even more vigilant with
Mm-hmm.
staying the course with in terms of equality and what we want as a group of people.
Well, how back of the day are you talking then? Because I mean, if we
I
talking
can go back to the '90s. I can even go back to the '90s. I ain't even got to go that far.
right, so it's like it's people that were like, I mean, attacked, killed, bullied. I mean, and it was a lot of it was swept under the rug in those times.
Mm.
I
But
mean,
like,
nowadays schools are implementing like anti-bullying stuff. Like it's a lot of things that they do to combat this type of rhetoric when it comes to kids. Yes, there are.
Now, let me help alarm you. There's uh, policies and procedures going out across the country right now. I can specifically speak to a school district right now where if you are gay and you're a teacher, you're not allowed to have your spouse in a frame on your desk. You're not allowed to put anything that demonstrates a rainbow flag. Where they used to have the little sticker that you could put on your door saying that this is a safe space
You can't even
for
put that up no more.
that, all of those have to be taken down. You
Wow.
don't get that. You don't get to help a child in several. I can name 8 states right now where they're removing all mental health programs or any social health programs for LGBTQ youth, where if a child comes to a teacher and they say, "Hey, I think I might be gay or queer or trans," that teacher is then forced to go and out them to their parents, same parents who may go and abuse them or kick them out the house. And this is happening today
Right.
in 2022. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even like they're trying to hide it anymore. It is like, oh no, we're here. We don't want no parts of y'all. We want y'all to go the hell away. I ain't here to hear. I ain't here for none of this.
We're seeing a
And so,
resurgence. We're seeing a resurgence in.
yes,
mhm.
because when you underscore that, Elton, when you're talking about removing mental health like resources, I don't think a lot of people know, but like suicide is the second leading cause of death amongst people that are aged about 10 to 24,
Mm-hmm.
right? Second leading cause. Gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, they are at a significantly higher risk, about 4 times as high. And in the past year, there were like 45% of youth, like gay youth, LGBTQIA youth, contemplated suicide in the past year. And more than half of those are transgender and non binary. And when you look at that through the lens of these legal challenges, of these, we're trying to ban, trans individuals from playing sports, that's very hard on
Mm.
these youth because it's not bullying anymore, it's outright oppression by adults.
Mhm.
Right. Right. So I think in the sense of like the laws are we're going back. We're going backwards. Which that yeah, I would say that is a problem. But
It's like we've got more media representation, which is
yeah.
nice, but when you look at the substance of it,
Mm.
like legally, are we going back to the 1950s? Like,
Well.
Like, and that's why I say, do. That's why the question was, do we have it better or worse?
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a time, I would say 15 years ago, which would have been 2007.
ooh,
We were in a place where the needle was moving progressively and
Mm-hmm.
moving forward. Yes, former President Barack Obama wanted no parts of gay marriage when he came into the scene. He was very public about that. No, I don't agree with gay marriage, but the needle moved.
Mm.
We fought. We had progress that came, and he even came along with it. But now there's this hard push back, and I almost feel bad for the LGBTQ youth now, even though I know when I was a young person it was still hard. But there's this attack now
Yeah.
on on the youth, telling them no, you better not. There's this. I don't know. I feel very bad for them.
Mm.
Mm.
I wouldn't say if it's better or worse. I think I wouldn't even say that they're more aware. You see it more, like how you said it may look as if it is better. A lot of kids nowadays, I think they have a better understanding, or they're able to express their understanding more, basically.
Yeah, I
I get
agree.
that. I would get that. I would also say that progress isn't necessarily a linear thing. Sometimes there is this pendulum of like back and forth. And so a lot of Generation Z, as some of the progress that was made, a lot of Generation Z, I see a lot of courage in those kids, a lot of strength, a lot of them just standing in their truth that I didn't see from a lot of people coming up as a millennial.
Mm.
So as their grandparents who are in Congress and running Senate right now, they see that in their fear. So we're dealing with a lot of white fear right now, I would say, that of course, as time goes on, we're going to see the progress and the wheel shift back the other way. But we just in that space
Yeah,
right now.
I do
yeah,
have to agree that Generation Z is much more fearless.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the LGBT community has not been fearless, because we always have, but they are very
hmm,
much so, especially within black spaces. And I'll make it specific to within black spaces.
Yes, I'd be
They
like,
are much more in your face and much more like, nope. I don't care how you feel. We are here. They are very much so open and proud of who they are, and
mm,
I love them. I love that about them,
yeah.
and so for that, that's good part. I'm
I
gonna
kind of
ask.
want to answer.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
kind of want to answer Belize's question too. I think they do use pride as like a marketing tactic. Um, Uber does it, H&M, or everybody they use the LGBT community. Hell, they
Oh,
use the
we're gonna
black.
get there with our next question. The next
Yeah.
question
Okay.
gets us right there. So before I get to my next question, I'm going to ask the audience: do y'all want palate cleansers? I have palate cleansers, but they're still old palate cleansers, but still good. Put a one in the chat if you want a palate cleanser. Put a 27 in the chat if you don't want palate cleanser. I'm okay with no palate cleanser. Very okay with that. Very much so okay. Let me see if anybody answers. Seeing as how Janae says these beards are every. Seeing as how I don't see any ones in the damn it. Oh man. Hey MBN, hey Bobo. Yeah, everybody's saying
Hey,
ones
Bubba.
here. Hey Daryl Johnson. All right, I guess we'll go with a palette. These are old palette cleansers. Forgive me. These are some retreads, but we'll have a couple of retreads. Here's a palette cleanser for you people. There you go. Have a couple palette cleansers. This is for
Oh, I'm
my
like, wondering what the hell is you talking about?
right.
Right.
I'm like, okay, oh, okay.
Too
this
much
is for
muscles.
my people
Oh,
who
that one right
need
there. Ooh.
something to
That
hang
one.
on to. All
Mm,
right.
mm,
Not a bit.
That's our last
yeah.
one for now. We'll have a couple others later. There you go. A couple palate cleansers for you. Cleanse the palate.
I didn't know
Take
what
it
the
out.
hell you were talking about.
I
I'm
thought you was
glad
gonna
you
be
did.
like
That's
you some
great.
type of you
My subscribers knew exactly what
what?
it was. My
I
subscribers did.
honestly thought you were selling like those flat tummy teas. I said palate cleanser. What
Mm-mm.
the fuck
Right.
is
Like you was doing some
We
type
have
of
palate cleansers help us if we have like a hard topic. It just gets your mind off of it real fast and distracts you, so you can get
I
to the next
guess.
topic, and it cleanses the palate.
mm.
Louise is cutting up.
Uh, wow.
Right.
Believe, why are we nice to you? Believe, listen, while we have this show going on over there, the real show is over there on in the comment section. The comment section is always the real show. That's what the real show happens. All right, so we talked about um you talked about Pride Month and what it means. With all of these companies want to have rainbow flags everywhere. I look at what we had the BET Awards the other day on
Mm-hmm.
Sunday. And before the BET Awards, there was a big thing with Lil Nas X. Well, Lil Nas X, undressed BET about how, hey, I had one of the top albums, and you all are specifically choosing not to, you know, uh,
Nominate.
nominate me. He specifically is speaking to um the fact that when he had his performance, was it last year,
Last year.
when he kissed the guy during the performance, and he said that even the execs and people at BET gave him real backlash and so forth
Mm-hmm.
for that, and that they had a real problem with that.
And also
And
the Satan thing, the Satan,
I
asking
and I,
about being
I don't
Satan.
even think, well, I really feel like his performance didn't have a whole lot of
It didn't at all. It was the theme was
like
like
to say that it was mainly the kiss. But his thing was he felt like it was backlash for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went on, did what he did. He went on his all his social media. He has millions of followers. And so then he and I kind of believe it that BET said, "Oh, we don't want to lose this segment of," because please believe BET is owned by white people, and white people look at stuff like this, okay? And he said, "We don't want to lose that market. So let's do something." And they did what they were supposed to. They brought out names that they knew the community would know,
No, yeah.
and names that the community would galvanize behind. But to me, it kind of seemed out of place. Like it was like, okay, y'all just go up there and do something and make them happy, and then they'll shut up and we won't have a problem.
hmm
That's kind of how it came off. Even when I was watching it, I was kind of like what? Yeah, I mean, part of me was like, what? The other part of me is Billy Porter about to fall over his dress because he kept stepping on his
I don't know what
What was he
you know what
wearing?
that
Can we talk about that?
right, I don't know what that was, but no, it was very much last minute. They wanted to put on this ridiculous show to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we happy Pride, because they have their award show every June. They don't never do nothing like this. Let's have them do like a little walk. I don't even know what it was. It was for 3 seconds. They knew that shit was not playing. They probably planned that shit the day before, maybe a couple hours before. They
Mm-hmm.
did that because they knew that people was on their ass because of the Lil Nas X thing, and they probably knew about that
Mm-hmm.
article that came out with Rolling Stone because that's where he talked about all this situation that happened with last year. BET. I mean,
It was queer baiting to me. It was queer
weird thing.
baiting.
And it sent off a message like we don't really fuck with y'all, but we gonna act like we do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Something you can.
I
This is something you expect from. I'm sorry. I'm getting into it because I was real vocal about this. I talked about this on my show. Like you expect this from the Grammys. You expect this from any other like award show. But the BET Awards, and I know you said they're owned by white people, but we can't blame all white people with this. Because them producers are black. Those people that are running these shows, they're black. And black people were not the only white people are not the only people. Conservatives are not the only people that was upset about that little performance, them kissing that dude last year. They were mad about that, and they didn't.
Yep.
They specifically didn't nominate him because of that. And then they want to act like they're
yeah.
oh, no, we're for diversity. We gonna have Billy Porter do some stupid. What was that even for? I mean, Pose was done years ago. I mean, like ain't no promotion, ain't nobody doing nothing. But the Billy Porter gonna show up for a check, y'all.
Billy Porter put on his Sambo slippers and get out there and do his best
Mhm.
Sambo and step and fetch it when he need to.
Yeah, I mean it's
It gave inauthentic to me, but it
Mhm.
also felt like we're not celebrating, we're tolerating because we don't want to deal with any potential pushback. It felt very much like a business decision. And I've
Hmm.
always lived
Yeah.
my life to seek spaces where I'm celebrated and not tolerated. So I
Yeah.
just,
Mm-hmm.
Let's be clear. The BET Awards have been during Pride Month since they started
They
back in
saw, yeah.
2001.
It's actually on New York Pride every week, every year. Sorry,
Every year.
every time
So
New York
let's
has
not act
Pride,
like
they have the awards.
this isn't a new phenomenon, BET. And so now all of a sudden, y'all want to have this whole, oh, let's do something for Pride. No, I ain't buying it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I wasn't buying it.
They knew
Mm-mm.
what they were doing, and that's just the thing.
And the sad part is, I had some of my straight friends that hit me up and said, "Oh, did you see that? That was great." And I was
Yeah,
like, "No."
yes, that's the first thing my mom showed me. She was like, "Oh my goodness, look, it's Billy Porter. He's doing his thing, like like the
Mm-mm.
thing."
Mm-mm.
I'm like,
Mm-mm.
okay, yeah,
Mm-mm.
all right.
I hated his outfit and his hair. It was weird to me.
So
I'm still trying to
I
figure out
have
what it
two
is.
questions. So, El Teddy, can you define queer baiting for me or anyone that's listening?
For
And
people who
two,
don't know what queer baiting
what would you
is,
all have rather
queer
think instead
baiting
of Billy Porter?
is queer baiting is when an entity or a space puts something that is LGBTQ or queer, I guess using the term, on their platform specifically just to bring in, they really don't believe in it. They really don't want any equality, but they're doing it just to market toward that group of people. I'll give you a perfect example.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it on the black side. Remember when Walmart came out with their goddamn ice cream for
Ice cream.
Juneteenth?
Yeah.
Queer baiting would be doing that, and Walmart came out with something for Pride Month too,
Yeah,
ice cream too for Pride Month. That
I
was
would
just
say
as horrible.
I would say more
Or
pandering
who was
than
that
queer.
group that had the bottoms and the tops?
Burger King.
Burger King.
Burger King.
No, not Burger King.
The
This was
what?
it Postmates?
What?
It was Postmates or something. They had a little video and oh, that it was Postmates. I think it was like food for bottoms or something like that. It
Mm.
was so like it was so awful. They had a whole
That
video. The little fruit or whatever had like leather lingerie or whatever they had on. It was just so egregious and awful.
what?
Mm-mm.
Exactly. It's just pandering.
Uh,
Oh, go look. I think it was
I was like,
Postmates.
Yeah,
I just remember Burger King and the Pride Whopper.
yeah.
Yeah.
You get
Oh,
two
with
Yeah.
the
top
two
buns,
tops
you can
and
get two
two
Chocolate.
bottom
And
buns.
yeah,
That was just it was a really big
Go
they
look
had
it
backlash.
up.
Pride
But
Walker.
Postmates, it's still out there. Had a
mm,
whole commercial about, oh, you can order food centered around. If you're a bottom, you can order food just for bottoms for that time when you go. And it was like, what?
Yeah,
I was just like, what is happening? It was so
Like
awful.
who
It
was on
was
your
so
PR team?
awful.
who green lights this
yeah.
though? Because this is
Right.
where
Like
we
who's
talk
on your
about
team?
diversity mattering because it got through
hmm
this whole process and nobody went, you know what? I don't
Maybe
think this
we
is
shouldn't do
a smart
this.
idea. Maybe we should
Right.
go in a different direction.
And it happens every year too. You think they learn? Like some companies did. Like
Right.
they don't have the the pride profile, but they make their profile rainbow, and then they
yeah.
change it the day after, like the after.
July the
Yeah.
1st.
Uh huh.
Mhm. Oh yeah, listen, tomorrow
Right.
Tomorrow.
all of those little
It's
And if you don't,
little
reprogrammed. It's
you know, they let
reprogrammed.
you know.
I will right
Someone's
back.
go change their profile picture.
What's so
Mm.
sad is we as black gay people are so used to this happening during February. They'll have a little black thing
Like the little
February,
fist, like
March 1st, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
hmm
yeah, it's pandering. I think it's pandering. But to answer your question though, with queer baiting, I think queer baiting is more like when you're watching like a film and you think that these two characters might be gay, and you come to find out at the end of the series they're not, and it's kind of like their relationship and the way they carried themselves. It seemed like it was a queer relationship, but it wasn't. That's what people use queer baiting for. But what you're talking
Or sometimes they'll throw a gay character in there
mm-hmm.
that doesn't add to the plot
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
Add
It
to the plot.
doesn't add to the
Yeah,
storyline. It's just stupid. It's like, why are they here? I don't need this. Like, even I'm like, I don't need this. I didn't ask for this. Like, it's not adding anything. Like, it's just stupid.
yeah.
So that, for people who
So
don't know what queer baiting is, that's what queer baiting is. And so for me, what BET did to me, and some people may not feel that way, and that's okay. I just felt like it was queer bait. It was like they knew it because I want to see next year if they do something next year.
No,
They're not.
they're not gonna do nothing next
If
year.
it's not going to be a big, like, if they're not going to be under fire for anything like that has to do with the LGBT community, they're not going to do. They're not going
is
to.
there a certain artist that y'all would want to see next year if it's not Lil Nas X or Billy Porter?
Mm-mm.
I want to see them, all the people that's in the entertainment industry, just select collectively not to go to that award show. I mean, if I'm not wanted, I don't want to be there. If it's not genuine, then I
And
don't.
let's be clear, a lot of the A-listers have stopped going to the EBT awards. A lot of them
Right.
have.
Yeah.
Mariah.
Yeah.
The
It was
what?
surprising to see Kanye West there, but he came for
I
the
was
tribute to
very
Diddy.
surprised that my queen
Did we see
Mariah
him?
was there.
Who?
My queen Mariah was there.
Yeah, she was there. Yep.
Or split
I
You
was-
see Mariah at an EBT award.
not an EBT.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
When-
I'm
when-
sorry.
Okay, if I see Beyonce, I'm gonna be there. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Oh
Beyonce
God.
not coming in there. I'm sorry, Beyonce's not coming.
No, if Beyonce, she gonna send a video in. She
I
not gonna be
guarantee
there.
you Mariah had
She
no
gonna send a
seat
video, she
in
gonna-
the crowd. Mariah did not go sit in the crowd. Mariah came, did her performance, and
And
got
left.
flew out on a helicopter to her
Do you
private
think?
jet.
Do you think the
And
reason
said,
why a lot of A-list celebrities don't go because there's no elevation there? Like they haven't, the BET Awards still in that same space they've been in
Yes.
for the last.
I think it's taking a turn worse.
When was the
Like
last?
The
just
word. Yeah.
even production and everything was worse in the snippets that I saw. Like I feel like some of the other like the NAACP awards or some of those awards get it better
Yeah,
than the T awards did this year. But
I mean, people's mics were malfunctioning. I mean, you heard the thing with
yeah,
Giveon.
it was a mess. It was
Tyler
a hot
Perry
ass
did the
mess.
sound. What are you talking about?
And they got a lot of money.
Very
They spend a lot of money. Their budget for that award show is
Mhm.
pretty big, and y'all spending way too much money for you to have those kind of mishaps.
Right. Now, do y'all believe they got like a voting academy? Because that was just the
I don't believe no parts of that shit.
Yeah, I think they
That-
have some type of voting system though.
Like the Tonys.
I always
I
thought that
think
was
so.
a People's Choice Award. Like I always thought. I remember voting for a BET Award. Like I remember going online.
You used to be able to though when it first
Yeah.
came out. It was like you could vote for
Yeah.
your. Then I don't think that there is a voting body because as I look back at the BET Awards, it's like there's this one person that wins it every year for
Mhm.
consecutive years, and then we choose a new it person, and it's like
Well, I'll give you another example. Like when they get to categories like the gospel category, and you would see the same 4 people every year over and over and over, and you'd be like, wait a minute, there's like dozens of other people who put out gospel music this year. I don't want to see Yolanda Adams, Kirk Franklin, Donnie McClurkin, and Shirley Caesar every year. Come on
But
now.
what if they the people that's really putting great music out? Like
They're not.
They're
That's
not,
not the
though.
case.
They're
They
not, though.
just are lazy. Let's be
They
clear.
try to emulate the MTV Music Video Awards a lot.
Oh, they would never.
They
I
try
mean, to me, it was a
they
travesty
they try to.
do you know how many black icons that they have that they could have given that award to, but y'all gave it to Diddy?
but
No
you don't feel like
disrespect
Diddy
to
deserved that?
No disrespect to Diddy, but there are so many black artists that are iconic that y'all haven't given it to.
Right.
I mean, they
He
really
got a lot
did.
of awards though.
They really
He
gave it
got a
to
lot of
Diddy.
awards. Don't he got like a couple Grammys? I know he got hella BET awards. Like
Stevie Wonder don't even have that award yet.
oh, Well,
Exactly. Exactly. What are we doing? What are we doing?
2 or 3 Grammys.
what was that award again? What, Lifetime Achievement or something?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
I would have given it to Kirk Franklin, who was there before I gave it to Diddy.
Mm.
I mean, but when
No,
you look at who's
no.
gotten it before, I just don't think that.
But are you looking at Diddy body of work that he done outside of being an artist though? I think that's
I'm
what they
not
were.
saying that Diddy should not get one eventually,
I'm
but
saying
what I'm saying is
But Kurt
there's a
Franklin really?
grocery list of people who I think should be getting it before him.
Mm.
I just think
Anyway,
it's telling that a lot of people that were on Bad Boy didn't show up to do anything on that stage
Of course they're not.
because they want their
was
money.
Carl Thomas there? Because I didn't see him.
And most of the people that I like from Bad Boy are gone. Man,
Like I didn't see Carl Thomas. I wanted Carl Thomas, but I don't remember seeing him. Was he there?
I don't even know Carl Thomas with Bad Boys.
Yeah. Carl Thomas
I
was
didn't know
Bad
that.
Boy. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Bobo say Carl
There's a
Thomas
lot
was
of
there. I don't remember Carl Thomas.
why did you want?
There's a lot of people signing his name.
Let's be clear. Diddy made hundreds of millions of dollars off the backs of a lot of great artists. Let's just be real clear.
Mm-hmm.
He has great business acumen. I'll give him that all
I
day.
ain't mad at it. Get it how you live. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
he knew he followed what the white record producers did, and he followed it and did his own thing. I ain't mad. Listen, I am not mad at that young man for doing what he did. Do what you do. You make you some money. You have orgies with Farnsworth, Bentleys, and all of your other people. You continue to have your beards in Cassie and Kim Porter and all the other people, and you make a lot of money. I ain't mad at it. Hey,
Happy
Xavier,
Pride. Happy Pride.
Do you consider Diddy an actor? He's saying you don't consider Diddy an actor.
Xavier came
Let's
in.
get into it.
listen. So, another palate cleanser before we get to this next topic,
Oh,
dear God.
child.
Oh Lord, who we got now?
I know. It's the palate cleanser. Y'all don't want the palate. I don't have to do palate cleanser. Okay.
It's for the listeners.
It's for the people. Something for the
It's for
people.
the people.
Here y'all go. Here y'all go, people. Here y'all go, people.
Got
Here
too
y'all
much
go.
muscles.
Here y'all go. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's one of my speed.
Interesting. I'm sorry. I got distracted. I'm sorry, and we're back. So, so let's get to the hard topic of the day. So we're not going to talk Roe v. Wade, not if we don't have to,
Oh, we do.
but the implications of it in their adjudication and in the majority opinion by Uncle Ruckus, Clarence Thomas, was that not only with this decision, because let's be clear, they didn't have to strike down Roe v. Wade holistically. They were asked to say whether or not the 15-week, abortion law was constitutional. And
Yeah.
instead of doing that, these rat bastards said, fuck a 15 weeks. That shit ain't constitutional, period. We going all the way to DEFCON 5. Then is there majority opinion by Associate Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. He said this means that we need to reassess the precedent that we have had for two things that affect the LGBTQ plus
Wait a
community.
minute, it was Alito. Alito did the majority opinion.
It wasn't Thomas.
Thomas did the concurring opinion,
Concurring opinion. I'm sorry.
which is the
You're right.
problematic part, because he mentioned everything but Loving v. Virginia, and they were all three
Clearly, for him. But he mentioned Obergefell
Lawrence v. Texas.
And he also mentioned Lawrence v. Texas.
Yep.
And those two are very important. Obergefell is gay marriage. Lawrence v. Texas is what
Sodomy
struck down sodomy laws and privacy in the bedroom, which essentially means that it was no longer illegal in many states to be gay because it was very illegal. I think when was Lawrence in the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
I think Lawrence was in the 80s. That's not
Well, you
that
said that
long
he's thinking
ago.
about overturning that.
Yeah, no, what they're saying is what they were doing is telling states, you send it to us, we're here for it. We're here to strike it down.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is they're coming after gay marriage. They're coming after Lawrence v. Texas, which is privacy in the bedroom, which essentially means they're coming after what was that specifically spoke to sodomy laws
Right.
in Texas, which means that it made it illegal to begin. Just to go further, what they were doing with the sodomy laws were even if they had no evidence of proof, because nobody's in your bedroom looking, if you had too much of a switch in your hip, your wrist was a little too limp, there was a little too much twang in your voice,
Mm-hmm.
that was enough grounds for them to believe that you were probably committing sodomy or gay. That was the code
Mm.
language for being gay. And you could be jailed. It was against the law in several states, and they're coming after that. And that has very serious, because I even saw some people on social media saying, well, that's not our issue in the LGBTQ community. Yes,
What?
it is if you read the language.
And if you
It
in the wrong state,
absolutely
child.
is.
Also, El Teddy, Griswold v. Connecticut, which established the right to contraception, was
Hmm.
also mentioned in his concurring opinion.
Uh-huh.
So it's like we're
Which could make birth
multiple things.
control. It could make birth control of all types illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would that? Just because I'm not the sharpest tool in the knife when it comes to politics and what things are and names. I'm so glad y'all gave us that little dissertation here. What would that look like now? Like if let's just say, knock on wood, you know what I'm saying, these things get overturned. Like, what would that look like for us at this
There
point?
are states that still have sodomy laws on the book. They never went away. But because of the federal laws because there were lawsuits that went into place, and the Supreme Court says no, those laws are unconstitutional. That meant that federally across all states, those could not hold weight. They were deemed illegal because they went against the United States Constitution, which
Mhm.
usurps a state constitution. If those are struck down, just in the same way that when Roe v. Wade was struck down, any state that had on their books that abortion was illegal, they immediately went back illegal again because now you had to defer to the state law. It's the same thing within if they strike down a Lawrence versus Texas, meaning that if they strike that down, there's no more privacy in the bedroom. Then that means that they can go back to saying sodomy laws are back on the books.
Mm-hmm.
And what that
Mm-hmm.
means is if they believed or they deem you someone who is a sodomite, because it wasn't being like you weren't called gay, you were called a sodomite in
Mm-hmm.
years past. And so you can be arrested. And you know how many people think about the great state of Texas governed by, as I call him, Governor Hot Wheels. It's the third largest state in the country.
Yeah.
And the
With
comments
the
are on it,
crazy
by the
attorney
way.
general who said that he wants to challenge Lawrence v. Texas. He's already said that.
He's already said that. Mind you, this is
When the
the
Roe v. Wade
same
decision
attorney
came out,
general. This is the same attorney general of Texas that wrote and Governor Abbott signed it. They have made it a state holiday that celebrates June 24th, which was the day that Roe v. Wade was overturned. And now it's a statewide holiday in Texas because they're so happy about it. They are here. Texas was the first state that went, and remember I talked about school districts that were removing counseling and therapy and mental health for students in school. Texas did that first. Texas was the first one with the book ban, where now you can't find anything in a school library or a public library, not just school library, but public library that have anything to do with gay, black, anything to do with women's rights or anything, but specifically what we're talking about today with gay or LGBTQ health rights or learning, all of it has been removed from school libraries and public libraries. There is a concerted attack on who we are as a people. And I think some people are letting the guard down, thinking, oh, this could never happen. The same way they thought Roe v. Wade could never be struck down.
Right, right.
And we're here today.
Yeah.
But this is what happens when people don't pay attention to politics, because this has been a push for decades. This has been a
Yeah.
push since the 70s. This is not new. And I think that the Republican Party figured out we can't win national elections. We can't win the White House. But what we can do is we can win in these states. We can obstruct. We can then put, justices up there. All we need to do is win one, and we can ram people through. And that's what they've done. Like Trump's big claim to fame, the number of judicial appointments that he had.
Mitch McConnell will be one of the most consequential individuals in American history for what he did by pushing dozens and dozens of judges on the federal bench and three justices in the Supreme Court that decided that six people could decide what was right and wrong for more than 300 million. And that's very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we're getting to the point now, and the history books will know, really the Supreme Court has no enforcement power. And I think that there's going to be eventually another nullification crisis, where they were like, well, the Supreme Court said this, and the states are going to be like, well, do it. That's what we're getting to now, because it's getting to the point where we have, we're supposed to have equal protection under the law via the 14th Amendment, but they're attacking the logic that was even used to grant those three cases. So what's the recourse? Because I don't think these people are going to be like, well, I've got all these rights now, I'm not just going to freely give it up.
I mean, what do we do as an LGBTQ community? What do we do with the idea and notion that we could have states that we actively live in? Coach, I know you live in Texas.
Yeah.
Greg, you and I live in Georgia. There are sodomy laws on the books in Georgia that are just not upheld because of a Lawrence v. Texas ruling. What do we do as a collective, as a group of LGBTQ plus community to say, where do we go? What do we do? Because there is a concerted attack that's happening in real time right now on who we are as a people, that no longer will allow you to just say, oh, I'm going to have Pride Month and I'm going to be happy about it. We could be faced with a year from now not being able to have a Pride Month in certain states. What do we do? And that's an open question to anybody.
Well, I did read that when Claire, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I did read when Clarence Thompson wrote the opinion op that even the judges that voted to overturn the law, when he brought up about the gay issue, not the issue, but the gay concerning gay marriage, that although judge was in agreement that had nothing to do with, like, that's not something that they looking forward to look into, but of course that can change. So that was kind of refreshing seeing that even when he wrote it, when they asked them, that those judges said that, based up on that law, they found it to be constitution. So therefore, they're not looking to change it. They wanted to focus on the Roe v. Wade situation.
But that's what they'll say out of their mouths, because they told members of Congress, oh, no, we're not coming after Roe v. Wade. That's established precedent, until they got in office.
Right,
and they had the opportunity to do away with established precedent. Please be clear. If you look at recently, over the last week or two, we've been getting all of the Supreme Court decisions on the cases that they took in. If we look at, they basically decimated the argument of there's a separation of church and state. They
Yeah,
just
they just
told the
did that.
EPA that you're not allowed to tell a company that they can't pollute the environment. They just told them that today. They told the state of New York, hey, you've had laws on the books about guns for over 100 years. Fuck you and your laws. We don't think you need to have them. Fuck you, ain't no law. So what I'm saying is Justice Thomas and Justice Alito have waited for this time because they're going to strong arm Amy Coney Barrett. They're going to strong arm um, Neil Gorsuch
Hmm.
into submission and make them go with how they feel. We know Brett
But do you
Kavanaugh
honestly
is
feel
going to go
that
with it.
that's something like in real time that the LGBTQ plus community is something we should be concerned about?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's be
Yeah.
clear. The Democrats dropped the ball. They never made it a point to make laws in Congress to codify or to strengthen or to say, regardless of the Supreme Court rule, we're
Yeah.
going to make an actual federal law that says that every state has the right to abortion because they never believed that it would happen. They never believed that a Supreme Court because they believed these assholes who told, oh no, we would come after Roe v. Wade. And what did they do? They came after it. So if you tell me that as a gay man that I should not be concerned that these people won't come after Lawrence v. Texas, I don't believe that. I don't believe anything they say out of the Supreme Court at this point. And I don't believe that the lawmakers in Washington, D.C. right now are going to do anything to protect me and my rights.
Hmm.
They're not doing anything.
But also too, let's look at this. Was the Roe v. Wade law, was it constitution? Like I like the more I read about that, I get into now. Let me take my perspective off of it. And from what I would understand as I read more into it, they think the thing that they were saying is it's not constitution. Let the state decide. So you don't feel like that's fair enough if the state can have a say so into that versus the question become, is
I'll
this
give you like
constitution?
this. Left to the states, we would still be slaves. We had a whole
That
civil war in this country because states said that black people should be slaves.
right, but then
So
you
if
have
we're
to also
leaving
go
it to
back
the
to the
states,
Constitution in terms of the federal law. They never seen black people as slaves, so they never abolished that and started from a new foundation either.
no, no, no,
So
no,
it's
no,
all still so
no, 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 no. Let me take you back. We only have slavery abolished because of an amendment. And even though people always say, oh, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, no, there still had to be an amendment to the Constitution, which involved ratification, which involved members of Congress, and so forth. So there's leaving it to the state left to themselves. States only care about ideologies of people who are very bigoted. Because if I leave, because please be clear, we ain't just talking about gay rights. They're trying to come at separate but equal. They've already said they want to go back to Plessy versus Ferguson.
Hmm.
It
Their
ain't just
elected
they just
representatives
stopping
chose the
there,
Brown v. Board. They said they want to go for Brown v. Board because
right? They
at the
want to
end of
go
the
for
day,
Brown
they
v.
do not
Board, which
want
would take
public
us back
education.
to Plessy versus Ferguson, meaning it would be integration again, separate but I mean segregation again, separate but equal. They are not stopping if you leave it to the states.
Hmm.
no,
Depending on
I
your
get that
zip
part in
code, you
general. I'm
are
just talking
separate.
about
But
they was
also,
talking
I
about
also want
based
to say
upon
this
the
too.
facts in terms of once they went through that and concerning the Roe v. Wade. They were looking at that and say, okay, is this down to like a constitution thing in terms of
It
women having
absolutely
abortion or whatever?
Roe
I'm
v.
just talking
Wade.
about this one law
No,
concerning
I'm talking
the
about, and I'm
abortion
going to
thing.
speak to Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade came because of Griswold. Griswold led to Roe v. Wade. So when they struck down Roe v. Wade, it made sense that he said we need to look at Griswold as well.
But you
Mhm.
also
and
have
that's
to
the
look at
right to
Planned Parenthood
privacy.
versus Casey as well. It overturned both of those.
Yeah, it
Planned,
overturned Roe and
Planned,
Casey.
Planned Parenthood versus Casey, it had an undue burden standard of when it related to abortions. So Mississippi, in this case, banned all abortions at 15 weeks. So the actual case that went to the Supreme Court should have been decided on the merits of, can we ban abortions at 15 weeks?
They didn't do that.
They didn't do that. And then the
They said,
Justice,
fuck
Chief
15
Justice
weeks.
said
We
he didn't
just
even
fucking
agree
got
with the
abortion.
rule.
Period.
Agree with it. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court said, I do not, he concurred in judgment, but he thought that it should have been narrowly tailored enough. We just need to decide the merits of this case. They went further and they were like, nope.
I'm gonna give you, and this is gonna be more real world for some of the gay people out here. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example, then I'm gonna bring it to the LGBTQ community. If you go to a website like DraftKings, I know I'm
Mhm.
going sports. Go with me here. DraftKings is a app that you can put on your phone, and it allows you to bet on fantasy football, and there are other stuff that you can bet on games in the NFL or NBA and other things. When you go on DraftKings, the first thing they ask you is, what state do you live in? Why? Because depending on the state you live in, or the state that you're in when you're in the process of putting that bet in, because they will look for your location. They force you to put your location in so they can say, oh, you're in the state of Georgia. Oh, you can't bet in the state of Georgia. So you can't
Mhm.
use our app while you're in the state of Georgia. Let me bring this back to what we're saying now. If they strike down and say there are no sodomy laws, apps like a Jack, a Scruff, a Grinder, an Atom for Atom
Yeah.
are then going to be forced to be like those apps that say, hmm, where do you live? Oh, you live in Georgia? Sorry, there's sodomy laws there. We can't have our
Out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
app
Yeah, I
there.
get that part.
And so what I'm saying is that is because see, people not gonna understand it in the manner that. But if I tell you, yeah, bitch, you ain't gonna be able to go on Jack and find you a good date, a good hot ass date nowadays. And
I
when
mean,
I
they can
tell
use it to track people too. I mean,
But
right,
also too
mhm.
though, I just to get your perspective. So with the Roe v. Wade them overturning that, do you feel that women should be able to have abortion? Should be able to have abort their child?
You asking? I'll tell you everybody
I'm
I,
asking everyone. Do y'all feel that they should be able to abort their child?
if they want to. Yes.
Yeah.
It's your body. Like, I mean, I don't.
let me. And this is something that I've said to someone. The reason men feel the way that they do sometimes about this is men can masturbate, and there's the seed that they use to create a child could just be aborted right there. Women don't have that luxury. And so if you were told that every time semen leaves your body, it must be used for the purpose of procreation, if not, that is illegal, you would lose your fucking mind. There would be no laws against, you know,
But they would never do that.
there would be any of this thing. There would be any
Right,
of
I
it.
get that.
And so when
But
you
do
think
you?
of it in that case, who am I to tell a woman that she can't say no? I don't want no parts of it. I ain't want no baby. Because when you go and watch you a good flick or a porn tonight and go get one off, you don't want nobody to tell you that you can't get one off and get this nut out.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think should no one have the right to do that. But would you agree that abortion is murder?
Mm-mm,
No.
absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
What was ask
I
again?
I I
Is
I, I
abortion?
feel that it is murder, and so I feel different about it. But at the
Mhm.
same time, just like Sonny House position is, even though I feel that it shouldn't happen, I still do not. I still feel that it's not right for me to put my belief or what I believe upon another person, right? But I do feel
Absolutely.
that it
Yeah.
is murder. That it's you shouldn't. Women
I
should abort
mean, I think
their child.
everybody should control what happens to their body. Go ahead, Coach.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right. Oh, I do want to say something though, because
So I guess for
oh, go
me,
ahead.
oh, go ahead, Darren. My bad.
No, because you brought up Sunny Halston. I know that was a topic this week that people was talking about. Oh, canceling the View and canceling her, or whatever. This and third. I know Sunny be pissing me off too sometimes with her beliefs and stuff like that. But I do understand, like, you can be pro life, but just understand that people deserve rights too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
women reproductive rights is like needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I respect Sunny for that. She'll say that, but a lot of people was only worried about the part where she said she pro life, and I think there's a lot of that going on, and I think that we need to get to the real issue.
Hmm. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I agree. I think probably a lot of us heard, look, unrelated but unrelated. Lil Duval made a comment about P Valley while it was a little
Oh,
off
we got that.
color,
Oh,
We're gonna hold P
but
Valley. We got that covered up.
little
it's
shit
coming.
stain.
But I would
Yeah.
almost liken the comments to where just because it doesn't match your belief system, there's still like a fine line that we have to walk in terms of speaking our truth. Because just because it's your opinion or belief, it can still infringe upon those rights or create
Mm-hmm.
like an atmosphere that doesn't feel safe for someone else. And I'll even take it a little bit further to where I'm 1000% okay with abortion. Like it needs to be put back on the ballot. It's something that I vote that should very much be something that every woman should have the right to do. Because, of course, as we look, I know the question was like, how does it affect our LGBT community? But I think it affects our community as a Black community as a whole larger. Because it's like y'all are so concerned about what's happening before the womb, but like what happens about the
After.
conditions about when they get out of the
After.
womb? Well, like what are we doing
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like support the murders like that are happening in certain zip codes at these crazy rates? So it's like there's just a whole lot of ways that we can look at that. But no, I appreciate and respect. We all have different opinions on that.
And
Yeah.
mind you, statistics show that the common killer for children is a firearm. But we
I
worry
mean,
about
because
abortion.
y'all
Mhm.
want to bring these
And
black
that go
babies.
back to your point.
Y'all want to bring these black babies into the world, and when they come into the world and they grow up, now you want to take them out. Now you want to kill us all.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
okay if we're
But
still in the
that's
mother's
that's the
womb.
point that Sonny Hostin made, that she is very much pro life, but like he said, but you're not doing anything about the guns laws. Like, so she looking at, I think a lot of people need to give her a break in terms of that. Like, she have a right to feel that abortion is murder. Like, I'm under no circumstance I feel like a woman. But at the same time, she give me the whole perspective. Like, we can't say that we pro life, but we're not doing anything about the gun laws. We're not doing anything. So she gave that, but everybody heard that one little piece,
Hmm.
like that she don't agree with abortion, like simply because of her Catholic background or whatever. But she also gave the whole spectrum. Like, if we're gonna say we pro life,
Hmm.
then we also have to do something about the gun laws, because children should feel safe in school where they're not getting gunned down and murdered. And then what's her name? She worked for the Trump White House, and she made a crazy statement that
Sarah
children
Huckabee
should
Sanders.
feel as safe in the school. What was the fat woman?
Sarah Huckabee
She was his
Sanders.
spokesman.
Sarah Huckabee.
Sarah Huckabee
Sarah
Sanders, or
Huckabee.
Sarah Huckabee.
Yeah,
Quasimodo, as we like to
yeah.
Mhm.
call
She made
her.
a comment about
Well,
that children,
you like
like this, after like the law got turned. She made a comment like, and it's a month ago, not even almost a month ago, these children just got gunned down in their school, and you making a comment that these children should feel safe as as they in school, stuff like that. So I think people should just give her a break and look at, like, I have a right to say I do not agree with abortion. I feel like it's murder, but I do feel like I do not have a right to put that up on someone else, that they have the
Exactly.
right
And
to
I think
choose
that's
how they
the
want.
I will say, I will interject and say one thing. I think that it's okay to have like your specific beliefs and stuff like that, but when certain conversations are unsolicited, we're not talking about the morality of it. We're saying, do you feel like people should have rights? I feel like she should have just been like, well, my beliefs, but I do feel like
Well, it
you.
is the view, though. It is the view. So
I do.
it is,
I think that if we
but
look at it, at the crux of the situation is this: you can feel how you feel and have your belief system that you have, but just like there are six of us here, there may be six very different views, belief systems, ideologies, and so forth. And all six of us deserve the right to live and be free to do what we deem necessary as long as it doesn't infringe on the rights of any of the other six. And I think as long as people do and go with that, then we're in a good place. But when you get to the point where you're
but do
telling
you
people,
also know too that that's a I think a lot of black leaders been talking about this way before they overturned it, that there was also about the white race, like a lot of those based upon they was like in fear
yeah, there's
of.
that whole conspiracy theory about the white life and whether or not white
Racial
people thought that
replacement
they were
theory.
going to
Yeah,
not
the
be
white
a
replacement
But
minority.
theory. Yeah.
I
Racial,
feel like
but
that's true though. Do you guys feel like that's part of why that they really took time now to vote that in, because they said within the
That is
next
a
5 years.
red herring.
Mm-hmm.
Because if all the
Demographics,
white people right now still went out and had all of the babies that they thought they wanted to make, them getting rid of abortion isn't going to stop what is coming in terms of the statistical and demographic data with regard to minorities, you know, gaining more number. It's just what it is.
numbers support 2050. Okay, the numbers support 2050. Whites are going to be the minority. There's nothing that they can do to really,
Right.
change that. The whole pandemic, certain people were dying off more so than others, so that also impacted it. But 2050, they were always going to be in the minority, and it's not like we're going to be in the majority. It's not us, so don't look at us.
You
So
have
I think
states.
another thing that we need to
Real
look at about this abortion debate is when you are impoverished, one way to guarantee generational poverty is to have children before you are financially ready to have them.
Yeah.
right.
Also,
Yeah.
But
let's speak about the health disparities when Black women have birth versus other races in America. Black women are 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy related complications than anyone. Part of that is structural racism in the healthcare community. Let's
Mhm.
keep it a buck. There are medical textbooks that say Black people tolerate more pain than other races.
Yep.
What's BS? Serena
right.
Williams, when she gave birth, almost died due to blood clots because they weren't listening to her as a Black woman. I think that it's a very, very dangerous conversation that when we have this and we're not looking at all of these other kind of
Right.
metrics,
Absolutely.
what is
The other part about it is
representation
you
and
have
equity
states.
lower paying jobs. We can't fill these lower paying jobs. Somebody got to work these jobs that nobody else wants to work.
Mhm.
Let's
Mm-hmm.
force poor people to have kids because then we can keep this capitalism train running.
Yeah.
I see your hand, D, but real quick, you have states when abortion was not legal that told and it was more proportionate to black women, oh, you had a miscarriage, oh, that is deemed an abortion, and we're going to take your ass to jail. Things like that were happening. Things like that were happening. Oh, you were raped by your dad, your older brother, your uncle. Oh, you about to have this child. Mind you, genetically speaking, that child may have irreparable damage to them genetically because that
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't happen. But damn that. Not only you have to have the child, but you have to absorb all of the medical bills and all of the financial strain that it has to care for that child for the foreseeable future. And that is also a part of the systemic racism and some of the systemic mechanisms that are in place to keep poor people poor. Go ahead, D.
I think a lot of people are missing the point of why they're doing this. A lot of people are taking it to a religious sense, and that is fine to have your opinion because we're supposed to have a right to for religion or whatever. But a lot of people are not understanding this is control. They want to control minorities. They want to control women. Ain't got shit to do with God. Ain't got shit
Mm-mm.
to do with religion. In my opinion, it's all about control. All about control.
Coach, I got you on two. Did you try to come on a different device, Coach? Because I got you twice in the background. Oh God, hold on. Is that the one you wanted? Okay, I ain't bad at it. Do what you do. All right. That was good. That was good, y'all. I love that. I love that. And with that, we'll have a palate cleanser. We'll have another
Not another
palate.
palate cleanser.
Mm-mm.
I love the palate. The palate cleansers help out. I think I had him. I just wanted to see him again. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Oh,
see him again.
nice.
Sorry. Hey,
I don't remember
Okay.
who in the panel said it earlier, but we are
hey, baby.
sexualized. So
I'm
Yeah.
not sexualizing anybody. I am
I mean, I was
appreciating
Oh, yes, you are.
I mean,
the
we got some beautiful
melanin.
black men that got clothes on right now.
Mm,
I'm happy to have clothes on today.
I'm appreciating all the
I'm
melanin,
happy
the
for the
different
booking with clothes
shades
on
of
today.
melanin that we have. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, no.
so this should be interesting. So our next question asks, why does everyone seem to be complaining about the dating pool in the black community? Everybody's saying, "Oh, I'm single and it ain't shit out there. Fuck the dating pool. Fuck men, because they ain't shit."
Mm-hmm.
But before
Mhm.
we start, like, is everyone on the panel single? Is this like the I'm married group? Like, can we just do a pulse check
Is
before we start
anybody
getting into
here uh not single? So
Well, no, I'm
it goes back to what I'm saying. Back to
I'm
Right.
what I was saying.
So it basically
Go.
proves
What
your
we done
I
point
mean,
say,
then.
I'm.
Darren?
I'll
huh?
let y'all run with this.
I don't
Y'all
I don't
run with
I
it.
don't think I don't think being monogamous is like a real thing. I don't think that's part of our nature. So I feel like by us being participating into that, it kind of limits us versus just like enjoying one another, being free. I feel like that monogamous stuff just I feel like that's really ultimately why we single because deep down inside of us we know we'll never be attractive to one person. We can train ourselves and discipline ourselves to be with one person, but like in reality, like no, we don't want one.
Who,
Like no, I want to experience life and people and
Mm.
you, not
yeah.
with
who
you.
said that?
I don't believe that.
Don't speak for me.
Who have been saying that? Okay, now. So wait a minute. Everybody here is taken.
No,
No,
nobody.
I'm
Everybody here
single.
is single.
Oh, everybody here is single. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm on that type time. I'm on fuck
Someone
love.
love
Fuck
me.
these niggas. These niggas ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot of people that just, a bunch of ancient niggas, and it's just like I'm tired of, trying to make these new relationships and trying to make friends with people and be this, and then they dealing with the other person that they still not over, and then you got to sit there. I'm like, honey, go ahead. Let's, let's be friends. You know
Or they themselves don't even know what the hell they want. They may
what
think
they
they
want?
want you.
Yeah,
That's something that's better than you. Oh,
right.
bye. On to the next one.
Mm.
I think your thing on monogamy. I mean, I mean, just me personally. I'm an only child. Everything I had everything I wanted. You know what I'm saying? As far as what I want this, I want that. I don't want to share nobody. Yeah, that's just that can never be a thing for me. But if
That
it is
part.
for you, polygamy is definitely a thing and it's definitely valid. Like a lot of people will sit there and say, "Oh no, you can't." Yes, you can. If you want, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But me, I gotta say,
I don't
I
share
would
food,
try.
so I'm not sharing.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just not.
I would
But
try. Look at me. I'll try.
I
Mhm.
think that people want different things out of relationships, and you have to communicate that up front. I don't like having my time wasted, which is why I'm single because I don't have time for games. If you're
Yeah.
not looking to
Right.
build something serious, then I'm not the romantic partner for you. And we can still be
Mhm.
cool, we can still hang out and stuff, but we just won't pursue anything romantic
Mm.
because I just invest a little too much in relationships to try ethical non-monogamy, polygamy, whatever term we're using these days. If
Mhm.
y'all want to go to those sex parties while y'all in a relationship, that's on you. I just
No,
want
I don't. I don't. No, I don't
no,
enjoy
I'm
sex
just, I'm,
together.
I'm,
I'm just simply saying I feel
throwing some
like
shade at
we
somebody.
just should enjoy each other without expectation. And if I get a connection with this person, I should be allowed to experience that. If I get one with that person, I should be allowed to experience that with no boundaries.
And that's your
I
right.
just feel like that's the
we're not
part
saying
what.
that
But
that's
there,
not
But
I feel like
You find a like-minded person, and that's okay.
right. I was going to say that I feel like there's somebody for everybody. There are people who are
So
very
why?
much
So why they
okay and
complain about the
open.
dating pool then?
There are people who are very much okay and open to just exactly what you said, Greg. There are people who are open to what Cam said and to what I think the key is finding the person that or finding someone who fits that box, finding the circle pegged to your circle hole, you know.
But do you think dating has to end up being in a relationship? If you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, not necessarily. I think
Just because you
Right.
date,
so.
you
This
don't have to be in a relationship.
no.
This is what I
Now I
don't
will
like. Though.
say
This is what I
Right.
this.
don't like.
I
Wait.
that I agree.
But also too, but what if? But so what do I supposed to do if I get another connection with another person and I'm
But that's why
in a
I
relationship
said
with?
I think communication is important. I
Mm-hmm.
think that if you are in the business of saying, hey, listen, I'm dating, I'm not just dating you exclusively.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dating,
Right.
I'm just trying to see what works for me. And then if we establish that we have this bond, this
Yeah.
connection, and we
Mhm.
want to, be exclusively us, then that's something that we can talk about. And when we verbalize that and communicate that with each other,
Mm-hmm.
then that's what it is. But I'll give myself for an example. If I start dating my baby daddy over there, Cam, until the point where I tell Cam that we are
Oh, that's
exclusive,
cool.
Coach, don't be clapping because you my side piece, okay? And I could interchange between the two. But but what I'm saying is if me and Cam's or me and Coach would never communicate that we're okay, it's time to make this a thing and we are
Mhm.
exclusive, I should think that they're maybe dating somebody else. And likewise, they should maybe think that I'm dating somebody else. And I think sometimes people get disillusioned because we go out on 3 dates and now you expected me to be monogamous to you as if we've been married for 3 years. And that's just not the case.
Well, I think after okay, hold on. But after 3 dates, I mean that is you are establishing something in.
Yeah, it's the consistency,
No.
Yeah.
which gonna lead
I,
to
I
some
don't
type of
No,
like. I don't
expectation.
like this whole thing.
no.
Let me just say this. I don't like this whole dating to date conversation because I'm starting. I started to realize that happens. Because I don't really date a lot. I don't really talk to. I'm antisocial, but it's a little weird. It's like okay, all right, well, okay.
So
It kind
you're
of feels
saying
like you're
after
trying to
three
get a
dates,
job.
we're
You're
exclusive?
like, huh?
After 3 dates, we're exclusive?
I mean, well, I mean,
Coach, I feel, Coach, please chime in. Save us here, Coach. Save us.
Three.
what? How many days and weeks has it been in
Do
between
I
these
do
three
I
days?
know what your favorite color is? Have we talked
Do
about
you
You
know my
should by
little
3 days.
you? No, be like sometimes 3 days is just going to dinner 3 times.
right?
Right.
Enough
But what
time
is
to
the
get to
time
really know
frame
you-
between these
But what are
dates?
you
What is the time
dating in
frame?
between the dating? You have to communicate.
Are they weeks apart, days? Like what's?
But do y'all
Why does
really
it
ask
matter?
your favorite colors? Like I feel like that's so not realistic. Like people don't
That's
ask like
texting.
what's your
That's
favorite
texting
color.
101. You kind of
I don't
do.
text. I don't text. I don't
Um,
believe in that. It's a waste of my thumb power. Like talk to me.
So
I
even if
I
you
don't.
like a
I'll text,
person a
but I
lot,
don't
you
call.
won't text
The
them.
only text I want to get is a you up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Other than that, don't text me. That's just me being real.
okay.
I
I
would
like
say
texting.
that I would say that I
I
know
do
the
too.
original question was like, why is there such a like the gay scene is so hard? Was the original question, or why do gay men complain about that? I would definitely echo like the communication piece, because one, in terms of time, like it doesn't matter if we went on 3 dates in this 1 week or we went on 3 dates over the past 3 months. It depends on what our connection is, how we're communicating, and am I being brave enough to step outside of myself and do some things I may be uncomfortable with. The second thing I would say is accountability. I don't hear I hear a lack of accountability in our community. Like even when this first started, a lot of people like to play games. They like to do this. I don't hear a lot of people talking about like themselves. I can respect
Yeah.
Mr. Ruffin standing in his truth. Like I've been single for so long. I've been on my healing journey, my growth journey, and trying to work on how I show up in relationships before I
I
put
mean, you
myself
were on a
in
whole
this.
dating show, Coach. You were on a whole dating show.
But I also think it's like
And I
where you
look,
at in
and
life.
I'm even living
Where
in
are
my
you at in
truth.
life
I'm
though?
like
Like,
I'm surrounded by naked men like all the time, right? I teach yoga and clothing optional, so even me sharing that with someone, like, oh, you like that could make someone uncomfortable. So me being more comfortable in my truth and just sharing my truth openly, like you said, I'm not chasing nobody. I'm attracting what's for me.
Right.
But I think also too, for people to say that they don't believe in monogamy, I think that's like no one would ever be attracted to one being. Like you would never be attractive or have a connection with one being. So how can you ultimately say that you really believe in monogamy? I think we so programmed to say we believe in it, but our body and who we really is at core, like when we like someone, oh, all that shit is out the window. When I want you, all that is out the window. And sometimes, especially if I'm not, if we haven't put in place me being
So
disciplined, if I haven't disciplined myself.
Great. Let me ask you a question.
what is the
Let's just
communication?
say you and I are dating. We've been monogamous. Well, I'm not going to say monogamous. Let me throw that term out. We've been exclusively dating each other.
Mm-hmm.
Some hot in the ass young thing come around and they wet your whistle and they make your head turn and they make you hottie in your body. And so you mean to tell me that you get to go out and date that person?
No, it go back to what y'all said, communication. I feel
Oh, so
like
you would
we
tell
can't
me,
take
hey boo,
communication
I'm
out.
going
If
out to go
we
blow
been
this back out.
consistent, I feel like honesty and being honest with you is part of it. But at the same time, you shouldn't limit me from having an experience with that
Mm.
person. Like that
Well, let
part.
me
But
ask this
of
to the
course,
panel.
if
Let me ask
I'm
this to
in
the
a
panel.
relationship with you, if I have agreement with you, I have to communicate that with you. But I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I can't have the experience with that other person.
Let
Mm.
me ask this to the
But then
panel.
it's not but that's ethical non-monogamy, which I mean, from what I see, a lot of people are on that wave anyway. They're just saying like, "Hey, I'm dating you, but I'm dating other people, and I'm sleeping with them too. Is this an issue for you? Is this a deal breaker for you?"
But I
I
was
mean,
speaking more in general. Let's just not say dating. Let's just say we enjoying each other time. Like
okay. See,
we
see,
kicking it.
that's nebulous and that has no meaning. That's nebulous and that has no meaning. That this is what we call a
But
situationship.
he likes that
Yeah,
gray
that's
area
a
though.
situationship. That ain't
It's
no
a situationship, and
relationship.
I don't deal in
You
those
could be a
because
FWB in that case. You know what I'm saying? You're a
No,
friend with
not necessarily,
benefits.
because we can understand what it is. Why we gotta put words to it in a label?
But
Let's
no,
just
what I'm
words
enjoy
saying
have
it.
is
meaning
that's just friends with
within the
benefits. We
confines of
good
boundaries.
friends. We vibe. We connect,
No,
and
I didn't
we
say
fuck
that.
too.
We can build. We can be consistent. We can build. We can have like if we want to have children in terms of adoption. We can do all that. Whatever already relationship together. Let's just not
Oh.
label
I
it.
have
Let's
two
just
questions.
let
Uh-uh.
I have
it
two
be.
questions. Hold on. I have two
Can I
questions.
say something real quick? Because
Yeah.
I want to chime into what Coach said earlier about accountability. And I will say for me, the reason I'm really single, I invest a lot in my career, which has been to the detriment of my marriage and subsequent relationships. And
I
until
can agree
I'm
with that.
where I want to be with my career, I do not have the
Hey,
capacity
Kamisha.
to romantically invest in somebody else.
Mm.
That's
I
the
would I would
Capricorn
say that.
tendency where Capricorns tend to invest more in their
But
careers than they do.
but do
I
you
don't think
honestly
that's a
feel like you'll
Capricorn
ever get to
tendency.
that
I think
spot,
that's
that
a
place though? To be honest, in real time.
Um, I think so. Like I did the rat race for a while. I've gotten the promotions that I wanted. I'm comfortable financially, but now it's just like, okay, now I'm kind of ready to. I guess I'm in my nesting stage now, so I'm evaluating people more seriously versus casually dating, maybe going out on a few days, maybe going out for drinks or something like that, but nothing serious.
Coach, you had a question or statement. Go ahead, Coach.
maybe a little bit of both. I mean, so we're all black men. So like the word trauma is something that exists in our community. And so when trauma shows up for you, how you show up in the world really affects you. And like not communicating
Mm-hmm.
and avoidance, like digging your head into work, like those are also signs of something greater. So I guess almost like the abortion issue, it's hard to have these conversations in a box because we all deal with shit our own way. I definitely don't think that's just a Capricorn issue. I think that's a human issue.
Yeah.
Oh, but that was my 2 cents. And I saw the comment, when it's class, slide in them DMs, we'll talk.
Also, I think another reason why dating may not be successful in our world is that sometimes we jump in quickly. And then sometimes, like, for instance, you break up with somebody on Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, you in a whole nother relationship already. You're like, did you just break up with her now?
That's
Like,
why I
how are you
said, how is
already?
3 days already? Hey, Marquise,
Wait.
Marquise just came into the chat. He's supposed to be on the panel. You can still click the link, Marquise. You have the
Is
link.
that a real thing? People be saying people
Hold
be
on,
doing
wait. Am I hearing D? Did you break up with somebody recently and wake up in a relationship a couple days later?
Oh, I've never really been in a relationship.
Oh, really?
I've never been in a relationship.
that? Me either.
I dated, but
Same.
nobody wants.
Yeah, like I've dated, but I've never been like, you know, boyfriend, all that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
I think another thing, but to bring
I
another
mean, I'm big
reason.
on manifestation. So if you say nobody wants to date you, nobody will want to date you.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is true, but it's also experience.
It's okay, Marquise. You can come on.
I think also it has to deal with a lot of, I mean, the gay community, it's a lot of shallowness. You know, when you think of, you know, preferences and, oh, I'm into this, I'm not into that. You're a little femme, you're a little mask, you're a little fat. You know, it's discouraging.
I feel like dating has
You're
become
not wrong.
a proverbial Jack
You're not wrong.
interaction. Like, it's a proverbial interaction on Jack. No facts, no films, no this, no that. And there's this whole grocery list of what you will and will not tolerate. So, and it's like, bruh, like, is it that serious? Like, and so I had 2 questions for the panel. First question is, if you were in a relationship, would you or would you not be okay with bringing in a third from time to time? Why or why not? Oh, before we do that, we have Marquise who's driving. He is supposed to be here with us. Marquise, you want to introduce yourself to the people? He may still be getting his camera and microphone.
We put Marquise on the spot. Like, are you bringing a third person into your relationship? Well, look, he ran away from the kid. He got too hot.
No, he's driving. He's driving like Lando.
To me, that's gonna be a hard no. We're gonna start.
The question is, would you bring in a third from time to time? Why or why not?
I have.
For sexual pleasure.
Oh, whatever you feel.
I have.
Yeah, I want. I don't like threesomes for real, so I want. It don't.
I don't either.
Not really.
Yeah.
I want
to me, you always be into the other person more than that. So it's just like
that's my fear. That's like my fear. Like that person could be more attracted to. I may be attracted to that person. That person may be attracted to my mate more than me.
My fear is if you do an extra moan or scream a little louder for them than you did with me, I'm gonna put anthrax in your salad when I make your next salad.
Not you, Tiny. Didn't Tiny do that to the third party that they had with T.I. and them?
Oh yeah, she did that.
I've been on the other end though.
Some people are not built for that.
I've been in uniform before.
I'm people.
I've been on the other end where a couple actually wanted me to join them.
I've been on the other end.
Are you gonna leave us hanging there? Or you gonna
now, see, I might could do that though. You know.
Listen, I've done that, and one always wants to send me, and I'm the person who gets the anthrax because one person might do an extra moan, and now the other person is looking at me sideways and want to give me anthrax, and I'm like, I ain't even did nothing.
You just gotta make the other person feel included.
I just threw it back a little more. I just gave a little more sloppy toppy. I don't know.
I would say I'm open to that conversation in the
it.
future. I guess it's about how I nurture like the core relationship versus in a previous experience, I definitely wasn't in a space to where I was nurturing home, and home definitely found something that they got a lot more comfortable with outside of us.
Interesting. Interesting. And my second question, well, I did have a second question. We talked about this real briefly. Do you believe that there can actually, because people ask me this all the time, do you believe that you and somebody who you are friends with, you are genuinely friends, you've been friends for a while, can you all have sex and not break the friendship?
Nah, oh no,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
It's about you. You
Yep.
and that person have
Yeah.
to have that understanding
For me,
before y'all
it's a
start having
hard
sex.
yes for me.
Yeah, you gotta have that understanding and conversation before y'all start having sex, and then it's like if we friends, we
Right.
good. Like
Yeah.
we good.
Right.
To
Because it's
me,
just a nut. I'm trying to bust a nut or feel good. It's not a person.
not
That
I'm
your
not
that's
trying to.
friend.
yeah, no, I'm with Greg on this. For me,
Yeah, yeah.
it would be like if my friend said, "Listen, I need a ride over to the airport today. Can you give me a ride?" Sure. Let me go give you this ride,
And if it
and we gonna keep
happened,
it
it
moving.
happened.
And my friend
Yep.
can come to me like, "Listen, I need this good bus down." All right, no problem. Sure, we can do it. It does not change.
damn.
It don't change nothing that goes on
It makes
between
things
what we got
weird
going on as
Levels of
friends.
though.
friendship to me too,
I
though.
don't know.
I
Maybe it's
have
a
a
growth
friend like
thing.
that
Levels
though.
of friendship to me too. Like my closest
Yeah.
friends,
Close
I would say
friend?
no. People
It
like other friends, yeah, yeah.
right.
Yeah, like
It's
associate.
Marquise, I
the
need you to
friends
come
that are
up
Associate.
like the
here.
family. I'm
They're
like,
friends, but like
you
Marquise, I
my
need
good
you to come
sis.
up
I
here and
can't do that.
explain that,
That's
please.
incest right there.
it also. I mean, I'm
No,
good at
I think it's
my
possible. I
emotions
just think
too.
it's. I
So
think it just to me how you see it, it's literally just you trying to feel good. After that, it's over with. We go back to
Right.
hanging out. It's a
To be
nut. You know
kicking
what I mean?
it
That's how
right.
I see it. So
I need Marquise to come up and explain this for
it
me.
doesn't
I
change
need
we're
you to
anything.
explain.
homies. We're homies. But like people that I've shared a lot of
But I
deep stuff, gone through trauma with, no. But people where I have a different type of
right.
relationship with them, absolutely, and it wouldn't change the friendship at
It
all.
would not
But
change the
also
friendship
too,
for me.
with friends, I feel safe with them because I know them. I feel more
Because you
comfortable
know
with
them,
them
yeah.
too. That's also why I like to do that because
Right.
I do feel comfortable because I know them. So that's
Right.
component for me as well. Rather than just a random person, I like friends sometimes because I feel
Hmm.
comfortable around you, so I can
I
go
feel
there
right
with
because you're a
you and feel
stranger.
comfortable.
I'm in a good place with
Actually, my
friends.
best friend, we used to be like that. That we started liking each other first, and then we started to be close. Even when sometimes when we're close and we're drunk, we'll make out. We'll make out,
And
and then
and
after
sometimes
that,
going
we
back to
cool.
what we talked about, which is with it just being sex, you may know that that friend may not satisfy what you need in a partner because maybe
Mm-hmm.
some of the
Right.
ways that they think aren't
Yep. But they got
aligned
good
with what
sex.
you think. And so I know, yeah, me and you being together may not necessarily work, but me and you fucking,
Mm-hmm.
baby, we
Uh,
can have a good old time. I'm
Right.
just saying.
okay.
Because there's just different type of connection you have with people, whether that's
Darren's like,
you know
no.
physical, emotional,
Yeah.
spiritual. I gotta
Y'all
have
making
all
me
three of
sound
those.
so conservative on here, child. Look, I promise you. Look, if it's
I'm
like an
conservative
associate,
too. I could.
if it's an associate, okay, best friend, or I don't know.
See,
I
I
mean, I've
wouldn't
been
say
down that
best friend.
road.
No,
Not
I
your
wouldn't say
best friend. Like, it's usually not your best friend, but it could be a close friend.
best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Not the one that you call a sis, because that's like incest right there. That not your
Ooh,
good
not
sis.
incest.
You can't be that kind of person. That's incest. Like no.
So,
No, it's the one you call bruh, my brother.
Okay.
It's a it's my nigga. What's good? What's good? That's
yeah,
the one.
Definitely not
It's a
sis.
friend with benefits.
Mm.
it's the FWB. It's the
But how did they
FWB.
become a friend with benefits? So, like, I mean, my whole thing is like, what's the lead up to the friend with benefits? Because the friendship has to be genuine, and then maybe there's always been physical attraction. You don't act on it, then you hook up, and I still
But
don't see
sometimes
it
it
like
can go
that.
left.
But it was nice.
It could go left. You can sit there and be friends and that and the third, and then you have sex, and then things is just suddenly weird with y'all.
That's because you make it weird. Go ahead, coach. I saw your head, coach.
Okay.
I thought I heard something. I may have not heard it from Cam. Did you say I'm a friends with benefits collector?
No,
Oh, I was like, whoa, okay, come on. That was
no.
new. I
And
was like,
my
I
sex
thought
life
you
has
put it on a
Listen,
shirt or something.
it's been
if
MIA for a
listen,
while. So
if I'm on a dating app, because I'm not gonna lie, act like I ain't never on Jack or Adam for Adam or stuff like that. I'm more than likely looking for a FWB. I'm not looking for a one and done. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for
Yeah. Me
an
too.
FWB.
I want
If it's
consistency, like a
good,
friend
I'm
with
looking for
benefits.
somebody who's gonna give me good sex, and then all of the good conversation and all of the other stuff that go with it. I don't go to those apps looking for a relationship. I'm just gonna be brutally honest.
Mm.
But a good
Right.
FWB, I'm here for a good FWB. Here for all
I
of it.
got I got a question for everybody. When was the last time you asked somebody out on a date that was not on an app?
Oh, recently for me.
You
Never.
said when? What was your question?
When was the last
When
time
have
you
you
had
asked
somebody
someone out
on a
on a
date
date
that wasn't
that
from an
wasn't on
app?
an app?
So that had to been in person.
Oh,
Last year.
oh yeah, last week.
I had one 2 weeks ago
Last year.
that met me at I was at a store and they were like, "Hey," I was like, "Hey,
But I like those hookups better than the app because to me the app you put too more expectation on their pictures and
right."
how they gonna look. But if I meet you in person, I know I see your vibe. So it's like let's do
But
it and
I
be
do
done with
think
it.
it is generational because depending on your age, like a Darren would not know what it is to not have the apps
I app,
for
yeah,
dating.
yeah.
But I remember before you had the apps and you actually did have to go out and actually interact with people and meet people and have conversations. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my word. You
And
know?
Yeah.
What was the
So
question?
when's the last time you dated somebody that wasn't from an app?
well, it was
Ask
actually
somebody
when the
on a
last time you
date.
asked somebody
3 weeks
out.
ago.
Where y'all be finding these niggas?
Where they be finding me.
Where you at?
I don't
Like,
approach
oh
them.
my
They find
goodness.
me. So that's a prayer.
I know
But
that's
one
right.
thing,
Look,
you said that you won't look for dating on an app. I won't date somebody that approaches me at the club.
you
I will
know.
never do that again.
I
Mm,
don't
Never
know
been
if
in
I'll
love in
say
the
I
club?
won't, but I'm
Cause
with you.
they looking
If
for
you meet me at the club, I'm kind of side eyeing you. I'm like, but I'm not gonna count you out. I'm not gonna automatically say no.
Yeah.
I received that. I mean, there's not a lot
I
of. I
had
mean,
two bad
black owned, queer owned spaces
experiences.
where people can get safe. So yeah.
Xavier, if your friend is in a relationship, no, you should not be sleeping with them unless the other person is okay with it. God, the whores that come in my chat. It's okay because my chat is the corner.
I mean,
My
don't do
chat is
that.
the corner.
Right. I don't know. I feel
Look,
like this
don't
is how I
slut
feel
shame.
about a
Let's not
situation
shame
like
people
that.
for their proclivities
If
of
I
sex.
have a friend and we've been messing around forever since we was like teenage to grown, if they get in a relationship, I'll still expect to mess around with them because that's something me and that person were doing since we was like
I'm
5 years
gonna say
before you
I
was in a relationship.
secretly agree with you,
Oh
but
wow.
publicly I'm gonna say no. But secretly I do agree with you.
I
Secretly,
Because
vehemently
it's
I
disagree
it's
with you.
like
agree.
it's like we'll never me and that friend would never be that, but we was having sex before 7 years before you got in a relationship, so we could continue to mess around and have our thing. Because I never want to be in a relationship with you.
Okay, so let me ask this: if it ever comes to the point that that friend gets married, are we still keeping that same sentiment?
Yeah, because that's something we've been doing
Greg
for
said he don't give a
7 to 8
damn. He's still
years.
gonna get it.
Ooh.
Greg said, "I'm gonna
Ooh.
get mine." That's what Greg said. Do
No,
not.
I just
Period.
because it's like when you find that, like if you and that person been having, think about it, we've been having sex for 7 years. That means it's something there in terms of good sex. Y'all understand each other's
Then
body.
y'all need to
He
be
know how to
together.
please you. You know how to please them. So it's like
Right.
we've been doing.
This is so great. Oh my God. This is
I
right up
gotta
my
be
alley.
careful what
Coach,
I say though.
wait a minute, coach. What is that look on your face? Because the look on your face right now, coach. What is that look?
No,
I'll
but
be
honestly,
honest.
I have friends that I've been messing with forever, and they've been in a relationship, and I see all their relationship through 4 or 5 guys, and I have always still
And you
messed with
still
them
been
when they
busting them
boyfriend went
down or they been
around.
busting you down the whole
So
time. Okay, coach, what did you have to say about
The face is when Mr. Ruffin first started sharing about his dating experiences, and I see this real life reality by his name. I immediately went to like Sister Wives. It's very heteronormative. I would love to see like a black polyamorous couple that's like really putting it out there on how they're like trying to make it work internally. So I just kind of went there. So when Darren said that it just kind of triggered it again. Mr. Ruffin, so would you be the star
I
of the
would
first
be
black gay
curious. Like,
polyamorous TV show?
I would
You said
love
what?
to see that because you see that with a lot of white people, but with
Mhm.
black people, you rarely see black people in a polyamorous anything like that's like real taboo
Yeah, you do.
within.
There is
Me
one
and
now
multiple
online
But
baby
I
that
think
is
mothers.
a
Yes,
also
black
you
that's
do.
Yeah,
my
they're out
my
there.
background. I
Yes, you
come
do.
from that
Multiple baby
background
mothers.
where
Yes.
the man one of our preacher, he had children by like 100. He got over like 100 children, so he had multiple women. So
Mm,
that cultural and that thing kind of like it doesn't. I don't mind a sister wife thing type of thing. To me, it just make the load easier. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't have to be worried with him. He don't have to
you
be
could be
worried with
like,
her.
listen, today
It
I'm
just
not
make the
feeling
load
this
easier.
today. You got it today. Today at my I got you tomorrow. I'm
Yeah,
here
it's
for it.
just
So
I
is
just
that a
feel like it's
yes?
easy that way.
You
Like
are
I can,
open to being on that show?
as well as I can go explore other options. It's somebody else I might be attracted to, so I can give them a little time. Like I just
Listen,
don't. I don't know.
Mr. Ruffin is basically saying, I'm gonna get it how I live. Okay? My dick get hard, my booty get wet, baby, it's going down. I'm
I'm
mad.
just saying, why should you deny yourself of that?
I
I
ain't
just don't.
listen, we're here. We're here.
I'm
I'm
trying
not
to
mad
give you a
about it.
TV show.
There's no
Oh,
judgment
I
here.
fuck somebody
Here
else's.
I mean, I respect the honesty though,
Fuck
because I
somebody
feel like a
else's.
lot of people don't have that sort of sense of self where they can
Mhm.
articulate,
hmm
this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I
Yeah.
require. And I feel like, Greg, you know what you want. You know who you are. And you like, look, you can't be placing no limitations on me. We can have our thing, but I need to be able to do my thing separately as well.
Yeah,
But
And
I
I think that's
and
why we
and
have such
actually, the
problems in the
relationship
dating
I was
pool.
about to enter, I was with a guy, and I liked him a lot. But I told him that I kind of felt bad because I liked him, but he didn't please me sexually. But I could be with him in a relationship because all that. But sexually, he didn't turn me on. Like he wasn't the type of guy I was attracted to physically.
Interesting.
But so he was so intimidating, and I was honest with him. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like yeah, I had sex tonight, but I didn't want to be the asshole. So I kind of just was like let the situation go. But he
Could
wanted to
be with
steal, but I
someone in
didn't
a
feel right.
relationship that I couldn't be with sexually. Like if I was not sexually attracted to them, me personally, I know I could not do that because outside of sexual attraction and intimacy, you're just a best friend. And I
Mhm.
already have a best friend who's really good at that. And they've already filled that role. So I need that intimacy and
But
I
I
need the
but
bump and grind.
They want their
I
feelings
need
hurt because they
intimacy
want
and
the truth.
sex is two
friction.
different things, though.
I
You
need
can
that
have the
friction.
intimacy without the sex, though.
but I don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I
I
want that.
need
Like my whole thing is
I want it
I have
all.
issues with intimacy and being vulnerable, so I don't feel like I could be vulnerable with multiple people. So that's why I just feel monogamy is for me, but everybody's different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying one is better than the other, but you have to know yourself, like your life experiences, your trauma, because I feel like a lot of those feed into how you view relationships. Even though growing up, I never saw a successful monogamous relationship. But I also
interest.
think that when
And
you
I
are,
think that shapes also how we look at relationships based on a lot of how we grew up and some of the things that we may have saw that might have become ingrained in our psyche when we were growing up and what we look for. You know, the old adage that you want someone like your dad if you had a dad figure. For example, me, I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandfather was a hard working blue collar man, built houses. And for me, I don't like the intellectual guy. Like I'm an intellectual guy, people may call
Mm.
me. But I like a guy like my grandfather that's more hands on, that's more, blue collar. I don't need somebody that's all intellectual head. And so I think that part of that comes from what
Yeah.
I saw and what I witnessed and what was comfortable for me when I was growing up. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. All right, palate cleanser.
Yeah, we gonna need one. Okay.
Palate, where are we at? Did we do him?
Oh
Oh
no, we
wow.
did you
didn't.
do
Oh,
him? Is the question.
oh,
He is cute.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
your guy.
I don't like when people have shades on. I want to see what your eyes look like.
Right.
Is he eye fishing?
Hallelujah.
Ooh.
Why he
Hey,
look
boy.
familiar?
Oh, he's in Chicago. Oh, that's a.
Yeah, he
Hey,
look
boy.
familiar. Like he
Hood.
look
I
familiar.
mean, he might have
He
been
look really.
visiting Chicago.
You probably seen him on Twitter.
Oh yeah, probably.
Oh, come on, Legos.
Come on, motherland.
Yes, I like them
Yes.
pants.
I love his hair
Those
though.
pants are nice.
Mm.
Bush Queen.
Sure, yeah, they like Atlanta girl.
Not,
Oh, I do love
That
that.
look like funny that Atlanta girl.
why you say Bush Queen?
That's what he
Butch
gives
Queen
me.
realness. He's walking Butch Queen realness tonight.
He gives me Butch.
Mm.
All right, those are our palate cleansers real fast. Shout out to the palate
Bush
cleansers.
Queen knows she a Bush Queen.
Um,
Ain't nothing
so
wrong with a Bush Queen. Love Bush
we
Queen.
almost done though, y'all. So our next conversation is about media and our representation as Black gay men in the media. And we have some people who are outliers and people who the general public or the viewing public look to as specifically Black gay representation.
Mm-hmm.
You have the little Nas X's of the world and even the Saucy Santanas of the world. And how do you
The Billy
feel about
Porters.
our representation in the media right now? Do you think it's a good representation of us, or do you think there's a lot more to be desired?
It's not
Definitely a
enough.
lot more.
There's a lot more we could. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's
It's
not
a lot more.
sufficient, is what I would say. I won't say good or bad.
Mhm.
I just don't
Yeah.
feel like the whole gamut is currently represented in media.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I can't wait till I can move up there. Oh, one day.
I mean, I think that you get what you get with certain people. I mean, I think Lil Nas X is a good representation, while I think Billy Porter in some ways is too. There was a lot of things that I listened to a lot of his interviews before. I mean, he really, I mean, before, I mean, his stuff was good. I don't know what he be doing now, child. But like, no, for real. I mean, I think it's so. I think there's still not enough people too. I mean, if we're
Right.
talking just gay Black men, like there's not enough in the entertainment industry that's really dominated, except for these selected few people that we're naming right now.
Right. Like Cam said, I don't believe it's either good or bad. They are, some there like Billy Porter, Saucy Santana, Lil Nas X, and there's other people that are completely different from them. But I realize a lot of people from the straight community or the white community, they see these people as just entertainment value. They want the yes, God. They want the, all of that. They don't really want like the intelligent, presidential,
masculine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
right. They want to sexualize and be like, but why that nigga gotta be gay? Why he can't be like Saucy Santana? Even people say something about Lil Nas X sometimes.
I think that leads us to the question that we were talking about before with the whole P Valley controversy, where nobody said anything when Lil Murder did slap some, as I call it, city lube or spit on Uncle Cliff and shoved his peen up it, or when they was in the car too, they had multiple sex scenes
Yeah.
with Uncle Clifford and Lil Murder and people that, because he was film and that was what was expected.
Yeah.
But then when you have what they don't expect, now those of us in the community, we know, we see all of the time. You know what I'm saying? This is what we see. The big teaks of the world and stuff like that want to get their back blown out. There's more big teaks wanting to get their back blown out than it is Uncle Clifford's that want to get their back blown out. If you really want to go down that road. But I noticed that a lot of the heterosexual community, especially male, seem to be losing their collective freaking minds.
Because they see
Case in point.
themselves. Shit.
Case in point, because I think they are, like you said, it points
Or they
to
want to
them.
get busted.
You had the case of a insignificant individual like Lil Duval. First of all, if your name is Duval, meaning you're
Lil
representing
Dookie Roll.
Jacksonville, Florida, that tells you how insignificant of a person you are because you're not even the biggest, um, city in your own state. But
But before
anyway,
you go in, don't go in too hard, LT, about that, because
I'm going to
I
get
kind of
over it.
agree with him on that.
No, no, no,
And
get over it. I'm going to go in. He said, quote, this is his tweet. Yeah, P Valley. Yeah, P Valley lost me. They need a super gay advisory on movies like they got for everything else, because that's a lot to see if you're not used to it.
Mm.
Patrick Ian Pope, who is a pioneer in our community, Patrick Ian Pope is a pioneer in the black gay community. He's responsible for there being a Noah's Ark. He's responsible for several in media. He is a pioneer in black gay for the black gay community in media. We celebrate Patrick Ian Pope. He's an executive producer for P Valley, and he said, "quote." As a writer and producer of P Valley, specifically the writer of this episode, I encourage you to step away from Chuckalisa. This show is not for you. Go watch something else because the gay ain't going nowhere. He
yeah,
goes on to say, I'm kidding, of course. In all seriousness, if you find the show too uncomfortable to watch, you're welcome to change the channel and watch something else. But why feel the need to come online and spew your homophobic nonsense? We don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Lil,
why
so
would
are
you
you
Lil
gonna
feel
read the
Duval
rest
have
of
he
are
has
you gonna
done
read the
this.
rest of Duval tweets, L Teddy?
Yeah, he did make a little rant. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I'm not going to go into
I
all
mean,
of
but
them
what he
Why
said,
I
because
what
say
he
that in
said.
terms of putting in
both of
context,
them
he
had several tweets.
Yeah. What's the
right, but
gist?
I'm saying Lil Duval wasn't necessarily being homophobic. He
he
was
was?
just he made a
He
valid point
was,
if you read
he
the
was.
rest of the tweet.
He
Okay,
that's just like a white person who says something blatantly racist and
Uh-huh.
then says, "Oh, I wasn't being racist." Oh, yes, the hell you were.
I
well,
And
think
let me
one of the I
just
think
finish
one of
my
the tweets
thought.
he's
Let
talking
me finish
about
my
was
thought
the
of what I mean by that. I
okay.
mean
Yeah.
by that, if what he originally said came off as that, but after he
Mhm.
explained what he was saying, it put context and you understood it better. What I did, he was just saying, if you're not used to seeing something,
Mhm.
of course it's gonna be a shock value to it. All he was saying is wow, because he's not used to seeing two masculine men having sex from what his perspective was. So after he explained that, after he released those tweets, he also released more tweets to follow up with that and gave example of why he, what he meant. So even though what he originally said
because he
came off
talked
as
about if my
homophobic,
mama
I
was
feel like
having
his
sex, I
intention was
wouldn't want
not.
to see
You
my
got to
mama.
remember too, he's a comedian. So I think between him being not used to seeing that and a comedian, I think it kind of got stuck in between.
Can I say
That's
something?
how I honestly feel
Let,
Go
about
let,
it.
ahead,
let
Cam.
me, let me interject though. So where was Lil Duval when they had the women on women scenes?
But like he
He was
said, they
there.
was used to seeing that. He was just saying, as
However,
anybody, when you
We
used to not.
used to see a
but,
woman
but
on
Greg,
TV.
That's
you're
no.
making my
He
next
you
point
go to
for me,
strip clubs, you
Greg.
see that. You go to
He really
the strip
is.
club, the straight strip club, you see women on that type of action. He was just simply saying, I was just saying, like I don't want to see that because at first I'm not used to seeing that, and it's two
I
guys.
don't
So I
want to
don't
see
feel.
him
I think
having
between him,
sex.
But
I think
Greg, this
between
is
him
because
trying to make a
media
joke
is
and him not
heteronormative.
used to seeing it, it's
Yeah.
kind of got in between. I don't think it was homophobic. I don't think that was his
Now, Lil Duval
intentions.
say dumb shit all the time. He really means it. He's ignorant.
He
He,
does.
That's
He's
he
a
He's
very
very
much
comedian.
did.
real.
He's a
But
comedian.
he needs to but we can't hide bigotry behind comedy.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Which
It's
is
like
why,
we can go
which
back
is
to
why
the
Dave
90s, we
Chappelle
can go
is
back to
so
the 2000s.
dangerous and
They
insidious.
drug gay people all the time, and we were supposed to be like, oh, it's funny. It's comedy. You don't get to say whatever you want to say without being held accountable and say, but it's comedy.
Ain't he the
It's
one
not.
that
Because
said
if
he was
that's
gonna
the
get
case,
But he didn't say he didn't say he didn't
if
use word
that's
like
the
this.
case,
He didn't
if
use
that's
word
the
like
case,
this
if
disgusting, this nasty. He just
well,
simply said, "Wow, they need to
wait.
get
Hold
gay
on, Greg.
Yeah.
advisory." Like he
If
kept it
that's
I
the
think
very
are we
case,
doing this back
if that's
13,
the
and it was
case,
just a joke.
and not turn this into
but
like
wait a
let's
minute.
highlight
If we
all
go
of the
to
Lil
just
Duval shit right
jokes,
now?
if that's the case, we relegate ourselves back to blackface, where white people were making
I
jokes
understand
about
that, but I'm
black
saying okay, and
people
that's why I
and
said
saying
too. I
that,
don't think his
oh,
intention
it's
was
funny
being
to wait a
homophobic.
minute,
I
wait
think
a
he was
minute,
just
hold on,
making an
hold on.
observation in a joke.
No, no, no. What I'm saying is by Lil Duval not being gay and not being able to be the recipient
Izzy,
of said joke on the negative side, you do not get to say how those individuals feel about it. You
I give you
also
that.
don't
But
get to
was you
say
I give you
when
that.
those
But
people
was you
tell you
offended though? Honestly, was
when
you
those
offended, L
people
Teddy?
tell you you can't do that, don't say that, that's offensive, you
I'm
don't then get to say, oh, but it's comedy, so I need to be able to be offensive because it's comedy.
I
No, you
totally
don't get
agree
to
with
do
that.
that.
But was you offended though? I'm about sure you was not
I'm
offended.
I'm
I
actually
don't
more
think people are
offended
offended. I
by
think we're just more
your like
aggravated of
defending
it.
like
Yeah,
what
he
his
just simply
intent
said,
was.
"Wow, they lost me," and I
I
feel
mean, but
like that's
like the
not
question
Go
is,
enough
ahead.
for
what
that.
Hold
was
on,
his
coach.
intent
now
Go ahead,
in
coach.
the
Go
he
ahead,
initial?
done
coach.
lost
Yeah, we got
evidence.
one at a time, child.
Hold on. Go ahead, coach.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm actually like slightly more offended with like the defending of his intent on a question about LGBTQ representation in media versus in making like the point of like what his intent was, because people who are impacted by outcomes don't give a fuck about what your intent was. So I personally don't want to continue to harp on like what Duval meant by this. P Valley specifically is an amazing show that is highlighting the spectrum of where homo thug meets homo sissy, and I'm here for all of the shit.
Yeah,
I'm here
I
for all
agree,
of it.
and
Yeah.
And
with that, that's a
the other
valid point.
dangerous part is this. While you and he may think one way, there are tons of people that follow him that are going to go with that and run with it. And it
Yeah.
becomes dangerous and it becomes gaslighting and it becomes something that
Dangerous, right?
someone will hold. He literally said, we need to have some type of advisory about whether or not
I
there's
think
going
Yeah.
to
that
be
that was a
gay
joke, man.
sex
I think
on
we
that.
come on
And
as
no, wait a minute.
we
And
can't be
we
that
don't hold
sensitive.
on.
Like if that's the case, then we gotta
No, no,
just
no, 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 no. That we do need to be that sensitive because what happens
okay.
is if we don't be that sensitive right now, where we're still in a space where people aren't comfortable, then we will never get to a space where people are comfortable. And that's the point that I'm making. We'll never get to the space where, oh, that was just two men having sex. It's no big deal. We will continue to be where we have people that say, no, I don't want to see it. Y'all go be pushed back in the closet. No, I don't want to see it. Nobody needs to see it.
Or
That's
let's
not
get a
what
petition
public
to cancel
But I
the
think
consumption.
show.
those,
And
but the
then
reality of those people gonna always exist. I'm simply saying. I noticed you only read, and this is my perfect example. You only read a portion of what Duval said. You did not read the tweets when he came back and validate what he was saying and gave his
there's a
intention about it.
reason for
But
that.
with the
I'll
So,
be
other
honest with you.
so
producer,
I
wait a minute,
will.
you gave the whole rundown of
Wait,
what
wait,
he
wait,
said.
wait,
All I'm
wait, wait,
go
simply
ahead,
wait,
go
saying,
ahead.
wait, Mister
Tell us what he said in
Ruffin.
another
Let me.
piece, though.
No, I got this. Hold on, Derek. I got this.
Okay.
I'll be very honest with you. I purposely did not. And the reason for that is I am of the belief some things don't deserve the light of day. Some things are egregious enough. I don't believe in, oh, you have to give equal opportunity for both sides. No, the fuck you don't. Because if the other side is egregious enough and insidious enough to where it will cause hurt, harm, and or danger to entire groups of people, I'm not going to give space and air
Hey,
to
Chloe.
a ideology or to an opinion that could cause hurt and harm to total groups of people. While Lil Duval may be a small 5'5" individual who all of us could beat his ass at any stretch of the imagination, what
Hmm.
he's saying could get to individuals who are much bigger and who have much more influence, and that could shape how it influences
Hmm.
our community, and that is dangerous. And that's why I'm not going to give his
no, I was talking more about
say
when he
credence.
acknowledged and he gave clarity of what he was saying and why he said it. That's the piece I'm talking about.
Okay.
He didn't give clarity. What he did
He
was
did give
he
clarity,
tried
and
to
so
backpedal and pussy pop because his ass realized that he was getting
I don't think he was
backlash.
backpedaling. I
And
think
he
like
said,
if you
hold on,
I've been
Actual
following
pussy
Duval for a
pop.
long time. He talks about everything. Nothing is off limit. Like he's a comedian. So I got the context of what he was simply saying. And I think
save it for your
I
stand
honestly
up,
feel
not
the
for your
majority
Twitter.
Yeah,
of
he was on
America
Twitter.
also understand it as well. I
You were
think
on
it's a
Twitter.
small
You weren't in the
percentage
stand up. This wasn't
that
stand
don't
up. This was
understand.
Twitter. This wasn't your stand up
I mean, the
routine.
thing about it is though, it's just it's I think also it's just a lot of situations that he has a history of being transphobic and homophobic.
Yeah.
You remember when he said jokingly or whatever, jokingly or not, I feel like I have to kill you if I find out that you was born a male or some shit like that. Like, come on, let's be clear. Like, it's what he says is dangerous. I'll tell you, you correct.
I'm not disagreeing with that. All I'm simply saying, if a guy came and gave clarity or came back to give clarity of what he was saying, I'm not going to say that he's homophobic and different things like that. I think it was just
I would
between
say
him
to
being
you that
between him not used to between him
there are
not used to seeing
slave
that and him
owners.
being a comedian. I
There
think it
are
got stuck in the
slave
middle.
owners that could give clarity or explanation as to why they own slaves, why they killed slaves,
And
and
I
why they
get that.
beat
All I'm
them.
simply saying of it is, I just think it's we taking it out of context. I think he did not mean it the way that we take it.
He meant absolutely what
I
he
mean,
said.
exactly what he said.
He meant
And he not
exactly
been
what he
trending and
said.
got backlash.
But
He wouldn't have
but
said
what
nothing.
he said is just he was making a joke because he simply said
Is no. I'm going to say
Are you
if
still
nobody
considering
had, if he got no backlash, if he had gotten no backlash, he would have stood on that. He wouldn't have
Yeah,
taken it back. But
well,
because he
he
started to
never
get
did took it
backlash,
away. He just gave clarity in terms of
and
like
no, that
he
wasn't
gave
clarity.
example,
That
not
was him
clarity,
trying
but he
to.
gave example of like what he was simply saying. He never backpedaled. He just simply gave
Oh, he
examples.
definitely backpedaled.
He did
That was
mental
damage
gymnastics
control.
to
That
try
was
to
his
walk back to
publicist
the original
saying.
statement.
He
His
never backpedaled and
publicist
said,
said
"I'm
to him,
sorry, I should never
"I
say what
see
I
your hand,
said." He
He
just
didn't
Coach.
simply
say
Go
I'm
gave
ahead,
sorry
clarity.
and
Patrick.
backpedal.
Oh,
He didn't say I'm sorry
I'm
at
throwing
all.
the mic to D. Like I
Go.
can't
didn't
listen to that
apologize.
no more. So I'm throwing the mic to D. Did you have anything to say about
Yeah.
LGBTQ representation in the media?
Who, me?
Yeah, you, Darren, Cam. I couldn't listen to that no more. Respectfully.
Okay.
Because I don't know what's a little Duval. That sounds like an alien to me. But I don't know what the fuck that is. I know little JJ. I don't know him.
No,
I
the
think
topic was
some of it.
representation
Right
in
now.
media.
I'm currently watching the new Queer as Folk, and it's some good things and it's some bad things. First, y'all use the word fag like 6 times in one episode, so it's like, ooh, that's a red flag. But it's like trying hard to push, they them. If you guys watch it, it's not bad, but it's like, I think it's more catered for the white gays.
Like the
Has it
original
always
one was?
been?
Oh, like the
Because
original
the main character he's black, but he's a biracial black. And then the other black main character, who's dark skinned, she's kind of comes off as an angry lesbian. So it's like, I don't know where y'all going with this. And then
What's it on?
all the other black characters are light skinned, and they're not main characters.
What is it streaming on?
Peacock.
Oh, okay.
I think the other thing about it is you're talking to, and I'm glad that Patrick Ian Pope was the one who spoke, is because Patrick Ian Pope was one of the ones who gave television the first black on black gay sex scene. That was he was the originator
There's a lot of
of
sex
a
scenes in
sex
this.
scene with two black gay men. And I think it's very important that he spoke out on this because, and he said this in one of the tweets, if I'm a young gay black boy and I have everybody in my house telling me that everything about me is wrong, and we know the power of media, and we know cultural norms that are set because of the media. It's powerful for me to see and affirming for me to see two men that may not necessarily be flamboyant, because I may not identify as flamboyant. I may identify as masculine, and it affirms that it's okay for me to, because the powerful part of it, I think this is the part that goes against what people or what makes it so egregious. What they saw was real intimacy. This isn't this went beyond what sometimes we see even in heterosexual sex scenes, where you have a man and a woman, and that man is real aggressive, just slide her panties down or slip it to the side and go and push her against the wall and blow her back out. This was not only two masculine presenting men, but this, if you look at it, it was intimacy
There
and
was
passion. And people don't want to, that goes against their, the our patriarchal society and the heterosexual norms and all of those. It calls into question the fact that you, Lil Duval, put this tweet out some 2 days later after the episode means that you was going and rethinking in your own self about how you felt about it and how it was turning you on.
I
Because
think
let's
it's you
be
taking
clear,
out of context.
not
once again.
necessarily.
How
though.
did we bring it back to Lil Duval? I had to go to the bathroom.
Can we not bring it back to him? I will say this
Please.
though, like El Tata, to underscore what you were just saying. Like I feel like a lot of times people try to look at gay men as it just being sex. So like when we talk about the sodomy law, it's just physical. So when you show something like that, it's humanizing the characters on screen, and that's why media representation is important. Because a lot of people don't come into the contact with people that are masculine and gay that they know about. But when you have the whole spectrum of all of us represented, people have a better understanding. Because I've met white people who was like, "Oh, you the first black person I've ever met. I only have BET as a reference." You got to think about this
Bad
like
reference.
that. Terrible reference, actually. So
Not even TV One.
And this is when I was in the military. This was a boy from a farm in Iowa. He was like, "You're the first black person I've ever seen. I only know about black people from BET."
I've met white people who've said the same thing to me. I've never been in contact with a black person. And only thing I know is what I see on TV, which makes it so much more powerful and so much more impactful when you do have representation on television. Lil Duval, I might not want to see a 5'5", big teeth, weird, looking guy on television.
But you see, like you giving
doing
your
that
opinion.
rhetoric.
That's why I just feel like it's like you giving your opinion. People have a right to oppose what you're putting out. It's not personal.
They
It's
absolutely do.
just like if we
But
saying
you
the
are not.
solution.
But wait
He
a minute.
don't want to watch
Wait
it.
a minute.
Turn the channel. Don't follow him
Freedom
on
of
social media.
speech
I just
does
think it's
not
that easy.
absolve. Hold on. Freedom of speech does not absolve you of freedom of consequence. And when you have that freedom of speech and you spew out certain things, you have to understand that everything you say should not, deserve to, be out in the masses because it's dangerous and it could cost people's lives.
I think at this point the owner should be like on these blog sites like a Shade Room, because the Shade Room looks for this shit. Shade Room, Ball Alert, all this. They'll post it and they'll get people started in the comments.
Lord have mercy.
I mean, I feel like if they would have never reposted that tweet, we probably wouldn't be talking about it today, because it would have been like, okay.
So we got to hold them
They know what
accountable
they
too.
doing
Now.
Anyway. Shade Room and Baller know what they doing.
Oh,
Well,
we
I do
absolutely have to
celebrity
hold them
news.
accountable.
Let me stay out of it, y'all.
Okay.
We absolutely have to hold them accountable. And when we stop holding them accountable, we end up boxing ourselves back into the closet again. And we end up never truly being free and open as we should be. We're dealing with right now, we just talked earlier about a period in time where they're trying to shove us back in the closet and tell us we don't want to see you, we don't want to hear you. He literally said we need an advisory if there's going to be anything involving gayness, or that's dangerous. That means that that's not for public consumption. That's not normal.
It's
And that's
enforcing
dangerous.
heteronormativity. That's the goal is to enforce heteronormativity, to make you feel as if you are the other, that there's something wrong with you. Like it used to be a disease. Like it's not that long ago where it literally was a mental illness to be gay. Like, it's just when you look at this, none of this happens in a vacuum. None of this happens in a vacuum. People are taught these views.
Yeah.
People are taught these views. And if we don't hold people accountable to their words, that is how we continue to have this problem for future generations. I just want people to be able to be like, you know what, I like men, I like women, I like whatever comes my way. And we go, oh, do you? I want it to not be a big deal.
Right.
That's why I want to see it be more normal on TV. If we see it more and more, people, the icky, like they got cooties, like that it's childish.
Yeah.
If that's not what you engage in your bedroom, cool.
Because let's be clear, we've been seeing straight sex for years. Okay,
Right.
let's see. I've seen vaginas, titties. Okay, I've seen all of that shit.
Which I'm not mad at it either.
I mean, I
mean, heterosexual sex.
I like
Do
all of
what
it.
you do, but don't be trying to make.
Okay,
I
but
like a nice rat.
And let's be clear. You know how many times there's been white gay sex on television, and people ain't blinking an eye. You watch a Game of Thrones and all kinds of other shows.
Game of
yeah, I
Thrones.
remember Spartacus Child.
Right. But now you got two masculine black gay men. Oh no, that could be me. Is it you? And with that, we'll go to another palate cleanser.
We saw him already.
Oh, back
we
to
had
the
him. That's my boo right there. Sorry. Hold on.
Child.
I had to have my
Once
boo.
again, out of context.
Hey, boy. Hey.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, boy.
They do be looking good in Philadelphia. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah, he too yellow.
Oh,
What's
we had
your
him.
Yellow.
Hey, boy.
I love the skin.
Mm.
Beautiful skin.
That might be the last of my palate cleansers. Let me see.
Oh, no. You better
You need to start sharing your Twitter.
pop some more.
Listen, I'm doing the best I can. I didn't even go look for palate cleansers today.
Don't show your safe for work Twitter though. They'll tell you not the other one. Show your safe for work Twitter.
My safe for work Twitter, not my freak Twitter.
I mean, you can send me your freak Twitter.
I think I have your safe for work Twitter. I don't have your.
Yeah, not my freak Twitter.
Yeah, send me your freak Twitter. Yeah.
We'll talk about that on the after party. All right. So we got one more topic, and then we'll do open panel if we need, and then we'll get out of here. We've been out here almost 2 hours, God.
No, we've been here for 2 hours.
Almost 3.
Right.
Oh, dear God. All right. Last one. Do we feel or should we expect some cultural misappropriation with the added exposure of more black gays in the media? We already know that, and no slight to my chat, my subscribers, but we know black gay women have taken our lingo and you know what we do, and that's okay. We're okay with that. But you start to see a lot more of the general population, starting to, use more of our lingo, have more, how we, culturally present ourselves as black gay individuals. You start to have shows like a Pose, Legendary, and other shows that are specific to even parts of P Valley that are specific to black and gay. And should we expect that there should be more cultural misappropriation amongst the black gay community? And what does that look like, and how do we feel about that?
I'll start. I'll personally say I feel like that's a sign of progress. Whether we like it or not, your queerness is revolutionary, and the fact that somebody wants to be it, own it, be a part of it, that's just gonna come. Will people mishandle it? Absolutely. This is fucking America. But if you don't like it, you can get off the ship.
No.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a sign of progress. Is it right? No, but I do think we can just expect more. That's just what it, that's just what it is. The fact that it becoming so mainstream now, will the gay community as a whole benefit? No, I think perfect example, the white guy that produced Pose. Like, what the fuck do he know about ballroom? But he is the one that got the FX behind it. But at the same time, I feel like the ballroom scene ultimately did not benefit like they should have. But behind Pose, the guy that produced all FX shit, American Horror, what's his name?
Ryan Murphy.
Ryan Murphy.
Ryan Murphy. Yeah, it's like what the fuck he know about Pose, especially in the black community. But at the same time, I think it brought exposure to it. But I think ultimately the people that really paid away, I think they didn't really benefit ultimately, especially financially for that, for that show.
I
But
do
I think
think
it's
that to a
You
certain
don't think you said
degree.
you don't think people benefited from the show?
no, I'm not talking about the actors that did. I'm talking about the people that are really in ballroom. The people that
Right.
was on the show, they really
Oh,
not
okay.
in ballroom like
Yeah.
that. They really didn't
Mhm.
lay the foundation for ballroom.
Except for
And they
Dominic
still not
Jackson.
putting the
Dominic
work in for
Jackson was
ballroom.
one of the few that did come from
Yeah,
that,
Dominique Laomi was on the show too.
and Laomi as well.
Laomi.
But I think
Yeah, they'll get
that,
one
Jack.
or two,
Jack.
but I'm talking about ultimately like the
and
group of
Jack
people.
Rock, and I think it's both ways. Although Ryan Murphy gets some credit, and that goes to the white supremacy of America because
Mhm.
they're always going to promote what some white person did, but he didn't do it. His name was on it, and he
Yeah.
had to then bring in people that was from that world that could tell the story, that knew the history,
Yeah.
that could and so what I did appreciate about it was on the because I'm with you absolutely on what you said about some of the negative sides of it, but on the positive sides of it is there were stories
Mm-hmm.
of the community that needed to get out. There were stories that it exposed that needed to be told. Think about some of the things within the black trans community that was being told that people just were not aware of.
Yeah.
Or think of some of the struggles that came. I mean, the whole purpose of the reason ballroom came to be was because of how blacks and the Latinx community were treated in the gay community and them wanted to have something of their own. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And so being able to tell those stories and be able, I mean, to me, one of the more important, one of the best episodes I remember was that episode with when Dominic
Tina.
Jackson's Electra went and came was dealing with her mother where we got her backstory with her
Yeah.
Yeah.
mom
Mm-hmm.
and how
Yeah.
and the significance of that whole and telling stories like that. I do think that that is important, and like we said, it is progress. What I don't want to see is misrepresentation. Sometimes I go a little too far. I'm gonna tell you how I go too far sometimes. First season of Legendary, where you had the all white, all female
Yeah. Yeah.
house,
That
and
was
I was,
Ninja.
I want to
That
know
was
why.
not
I
Ninja.
immediately was like, really,
Me too.
really,
Oh, this is
yeah.
not
really.
I did
Ninja.
not like that.
I had a real problem with that. That's just me personally because I was like, really, that's what we're doing.
I also think though, when we talk about like this topic, I want to like there's a difference between appreciation and appropriation. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel
Mm,
like we need to be focused on appreciation and telling these stories that may not have been heard, amplifying those voices, like not making this media representation caricatures or stereotypes that are
mm-hmm.
going to negatively impact the community as a whole. I just think that it comes with responsible producing, responsible writing, and getting people in those rooms that are
Mm-hmm.
from these communities that can tell these stories because a lot of times the writers room is still the most segregated part of entertainment.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think we
And I
need
think
we need
one
to
of the
focus on that.
producers, Pose, you remember she went to the party, and when on a final season, and she basically was just, what was her name? She kind of
Janet
like,
Mock.
yeah. So I think that goes into that. Like, we didn't know all that was going on behind the scene. That that she wasn't getting paid much. For, I think the whole as she was in one of the EPs. They got her on as one of the producers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think now that the show about the route, she wanted to be honest, and she wasn't. She was very displeased on how he was going out or what was going on behind the scenes. So I think it goes to what Cam was saying, like, you know, having those type of writers in a writer room, because at the end of the day, you can tell the story, but if all the writers are not part of the culture for real, or they're not part of our community for real, you're gonna still get what you get. We're gonna still feel like a piece of us is missing. We're not gonna understand what it is, but it's not gonna feel relatable. It's not gonna feel like they really celebrate us or
I
different things like
mean,
that. So
I don't know if Janet Mock has a argument, but there are other people around. I don't know if
well, she
Janet
was saying
Mock is
as a
the one
But
producer,
with
she
us
should
the
have been paid
argument.
more money,
she's
Right,
like the
not the
other
only
people.
one that
right.
said something about Ryan No shade to him. I watch his shows, but he even the show Glee, they said that the way how they did Amber Riley, he basically blackballed her.
Mm,
So he's
Oh,
known
that's
for
why we
doing
haven't
that.
seen her for real.
Who's Amber Riley again? That was Mercedes or
yeah.
Yeah, she played
On Glee.
best voice. Why she
Hmm.
was not
Hands
the
down.
Absolutely had
best
the best
voice in
voice,
that show, and she
Mm.
was did dirty.
which
She
is
should have
But
a
I
why,
big
think
career
that's
by
the
now.
cost you pay for
which is
selling.
why we do have to, like I said, we do have to start to have representation on all levels.
yeah,
When
behind the scenes?
that's why the RuPauls of the world are dangerous, and some others who exclude us.
But El
We,
Teddy, though,
we
y'all
put,
been letting
and I'm
RuPaul get off
sorry,
for years,
and I'm
though.
gonna just put it out there. It's dangerous because we you get there and we expect that you will wedge the door so more of us can come in there and truly tell our authentic story. But let's be clear, some of what RuPaul does is just as much cultural misappropriation as some of the white people because she didn't come from the black drag world. Let's just be brutally honest. And if you go to
Really
some of
wasn't
those
seeing it for her.
old black drag queens, they want
Really
no
was not
parts of
seeing it
her.
for her.
And it doesn't
Mm.
even come off as authentic when she does and says some of the things that she says because people know you didn't come from that. You don't
So
even
why
Right.
know
do you think
anything
she's so
about that.
successful at it then?
Um, so I just think it's dangerous when you're the only one and there's nobody else that you're bringing up behind you because that means that you're cutting it off and you're not helping. That's not progress to me.
Right.
It's like you climb the ladder, and then when you get to the top, you pull it up after you.
Right.
But have you also noticed in like entertainment in general, there can only be like one like hot black person that's on at a time, and then
Hmm.
we have to cycle to somebody else.
Hmm.
Like I've seen it in comedy quite a bit. It's
Yeah.
one superstar in comedy. All right, then they kind of fade out. Then it's not somebody else that gets all this like media, this narrative behind them, all this attention, all this exposure. So I
Yeah.
mean, it could be that, but I just think that I mean the great point was made. It's got to be exposure, not exploitation. Because I remember the black exploitation era, and it's just looking back on it, not a good look.
Hey, Jermaine Blackwell. But definitely, we'll see where this goes. Um, I want to, like I said, I definitely want to see um, more representation. I want to see more shows like I hate to say it, like a Noah's Ark. I do think we do need to have shows that's centered around us. Well, yes, we have no problems being parts of shows, but I still have no problem with us being the centerpiece of
Hmm.
the show. They don't mind making us, I call it the pocket punk, where we'll be on these reality shows and they'll have this, convenient gay black man that's like
Right.
this accessory that
The
they have.
sassy
But
one.
you know, even
You talking about the
Netflix do that
accessory?
now. Netflix have a clause in for black people. Like if you watch all they shows from like 2000, all they new stuff from 2018 to now, you gonna always see a black person in all they shit, even if it don't
One
make sense.
moment, let's say goodbye to Coach. Got to go off because he has a meeting in 3 minutes. I don't want to let us go without saying bye to Coach. I'm so grateful. I'll be up in the DMs again, but Coach, I thank you for coming on with us. You've been so great, and we'll be looking for more nudity from you.
Oh,
Anyway, uh, but thank you so much, Coach, because I know you got to go. Thank you so much. You got to go get naked, right?
Nah.
No, thank y'all for having me. Look, even though it's not the end, I always end every meeting with like, I know, right? Look, I always end every meeting with like a checkout. One word. How the fuck y'all feeling?
I'm
Good.
feeling great. Great.
Feeling good.
Good.
I feel hurt.
I should have said horny.
I'm feeling prideful.
Yes.
What about you, Dan? What's your word?
Um. Excellent.
Nice.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach. You be good.
My checkout word is spicy. Shout out to your I don't know, she's like a super subscriber to you, Spicy. She been on it. Like I gotta like
Spicy
give her
original.
props. She is definitely keeping the comments going for you. So look, I look
Don't
forward
judge
to
me,
next time. We'll
Joshua.
chat soon.
Joshua over there in the comments. Don't do me.
Mm.
Anyway, thank you so much, Coach. Have a good one. But like I said, I do think that I want to see more of us. And we have to begin to break into writers' rooms and production
Right.
rooms and so forth because that
Yeah,
is
more behind
important.
the scenes stuff.
Yeah, that's why I'm so grateful for the Patrick Ian Polkses of the world
Right.
because and he is helping others. He's really been at the forefront of bringing others into the industry as well. So good looking out for him.
And
Uh,
not just writers that look like us, writers that actually live the life of these characters that they want to send out there.
Great. Yep.
mhm.
Yep.
Because, like for instance, I could be a teacher, but I'm not gonna write about a singer if I don't know what the
Mhm.
fuck I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So people that have
Absolutely.
that understood what the assignment is, basically.
Art imitates life. You have to have lived
Damn.
the life for the art to be believable. It's got to connect.
Mm-hmm.
You can't show what you don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, you could try, but then the series would be terrible, as we
Comes
said.
out very pretentious when you do. All right. So I'm not going to even go to open panel. I'm going to give final remarks and words. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Ruffin.
Oh, no, thank you. I definitely enjoyed it. I also enjoy you guys' perspective, facts, opinions, and just stay blessed, stay in peace in our pieces.
Mm.
Cams.
Thanks for the invite. I have enjoyed the dialogue. It's been really illuminating to get the different perspectives from everyone. Hopefully, we could have another panel talking about dating in
That
this
might
current
be a good panel. Dating. A good
Yes.
dating panel might be good. Maybe we'll do another one next month. Maybe toward the end of next
Yeah,
month.
we should do something now. Monthly. I like this.
Maybe the last day of each
Yeah.
month, we might say, "Yeah, we coming on."
Mhm.
May do that. I like it. Darren.
Well, as always, it's always a pleasure to be on a live with El Teddy Child. There's always something going on in the comments or what we're saying here. Just to piggyback off of what you guys were saying, I love the discourse and our the different opinions and stuff like that. And some things have opened my mind to certain things. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm seeing it. But yeah.
All right, and it's me.
Well, first of all, thank you. Why the planes gotta come now? Jesus.
I don't even hear them.
The whole live planes. But thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me. Happy Pride to everybody. On the last day,
Right.
I learned something. I learned a lot actually, and we need more of these discussions to educate the people, basically.
Yeah.
And it was nice meeting everybody, those that I never met before.
First of all, thank you all who came on. I know Coach left. I know Lando was here for a second. I know Marquise tried to come through as well. We had some people traveling. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Cams. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, D. Y'all came on. Y'all didn't bat an eye. Y'all said, sure, no problem. I'll be there. I know you have a lot going on, L Teddy, but I thank you all so much. This means a lot to me. My Pride Month video, I do one Pride Month video every year, and this year I decided to do it in the form of a panel, and this was so important and so great. I'm so grateful for. I usually keep it up for about 4 or 5 months as my featured video on my channel, so I'll do that yet again for this one, and I'm eternally grateful to you all. I'd love to be on another panel with you all. So I mean, I'll reach out. We may have to do that dating one like you all said, because that seemed to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, but absolutely, I do it again a million times over, and I'm so grateful to my mods. Thank you all, my mods, for holding me down tonight. Y'all were great. Y'all were phenomenal. Thank you. I will be in the mod squad later tonight, and I'll tell you all. Thank you. To my members, thank you all for holding me down, members. Y'all know what y'all do, and I am eternally grateful to y'all. Hey, Miss Baythang, she's a member. And all of my other subscribers, thank you all for being here, being a part of the dialogue and the chat. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. We are much obliged and much appreciated. You all don't have to be here, but you are. And I am grateful. That is all we got for y'all tonight. We've been on here 3+ hours.
Mm-hmm.
Until next time.
Hey,
Thank you all for coming. Y'all drive safely, and we are out of here.